got a lot of friends, and they can have my things when we're dead. But we gonna live forever. We gonna live forever.
And it's Boyscast time. The Boyscast rhymes.
We're not good at rapping. Well,
oh, yeah? Well, when I did my video, people were quite happy with the flow.
which video?
The Brian Stelter.
Oh, no. You're, yeah. I'm more like freestyling. Someone actually was saying, I remember at the time when...
now he thinks I'm good. Okay.
No, that was good. But
Danny says I can't freestyle because he doesn't know what it's like to be wild because he's mild.
Yeah, you're proving my point.
He's put a ruler around his mom. It's a mile.
Actually, you know what? I this is like funny thing because
He's a pedophile.
Oh, that's a good one. When Alex
Put him on trial.
When Alex was rapping, and then you go, he's going to do a siphon, and then I was like, but I'm so like not in that color. I'm like, is it a siphon or I thought it was a cipher, but then I
might be a cipher.
I didn't want to say anything because then
might be a cipher, like Adam Driver. He goes, hey, I don't have any more things that rhyme with cipher. Right. Diaper. Hyper. Okay, that was a bad one.
Yeah, you gotta do the Eminem school where it's like it just kind of sounds.
That's because
like,
I'm wearing a
diaper.
I'm not wearing a light shirt.
It's because I'm wearing a diaper.
I'm wearing a diaper with my right fur.
You're right.
Speaking of rappers, so the hot fire just got dropped by a little man known as Jussie Smollet. Fire
song.
In the Dragon's Den.
I watched. It's funny too because he released it on Instagram, and then the comments are just everybody sucking his dick because he only
couldn't
allows.
Believe it.
But it's because he only allows comments
and
from
what people don't know
friends.
Is that Jussie Smollet released a video on Instagram, which I highly recommend that you go check out, about how innocent he is.
Real OJ vibes.
A rap song.
Yeah, he's still rapping about looking for the real criminal.
Oh my God. It's incredible. And by the way, song's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
And it's what Danny said, that every comment is, yeah,
Jussie, you're the best.
Yo, fight the power, brother.
But I mean, again, they're like, if you cross him in the comments, he'll just probably blocks you.
Well, it's his family that's running the thing, right?
Yeah.
And they're deleting everything.
Well, no,
hide your comments, hide your likes. We deleting everybody.
Hide your comments.
So I took the lyrics. So if people don't want to, I'd say maybe take a quick peek right now, or if I could just tell you what the lyrics are. So it's very R&B vibe, like something like that.
Like, oh baby, oh baby, sit down so we could do a fake hate crime. Oh yeah.
He goes, it's like they hell bent on not solving the crime, taking out the elements of race and trans and homophobia that's straight taking lives. These are his first opening lyrics. So he's saying, you want to ignore this fucking transphobia? Oh, I don't know if you know this, but people are dead.
We're dying out here.
Not me. Again, not me personally. That's the thing. He goes, people are getting killed from this stuff. It's like, okay, but you weren't one of them.
No. But he is, he can, speak for the people.
Maybe we stick together. Maybe we read more instead of saying that's above me now. Brother, you sure? That's one of his lyrics.
Brother?
So is it possible that the reason that Jussie Smollett was proven innocent is because people don't read enough? Is that... I'll tell you what I read.
Why is he out?
Verdict.
Why is he out?
I think he didn't get that much time.
No. He got out the next. No, he got out the next day on like some technicality. But
famous people, dude.
Yeah, man.
He said that people don't read enough. I'll tell you why he's not in there, because maybe people started reading.
Is he saying people in general or black people?
No, I think he's saying people in general. He's saying, everyone thinks he's guilty. It's like, well, maybe if they read a fucking book.
Yeah, you fucking ignorant piece of shit. Why don't you read a book?
Why don't you read a book, pal? Why don't you read more, he says. So that's the first part. He says people should read more. But I can't be mad. Take my ego out. He's not going to have some ego about this whole thing, right? Take my ego out. Some people searching for fame. Some people chasing for clout. Not him again.
No, but everybody in his comment section, for sure.
Well, so he's got, everyone in this comment section thinks he's the greatest and most innocent man of all time.
Yeah, Jussie, you're a fucking martyr, dude.
And right now he says, people are ignoring transphobia that's saving lives. maybe I'm in it. Maybe you know I'm innocent if you fucking read a book. You're all clout chasers. Oh, and you're all chasing clout.
Yeah.
He's calling you a clout chaser.
Yeah, he is. I mean, we are doing that right now.
We're trying to get on
That's
that
what we're
fucking
doing.
Jussie's fame.
We're fucking riding Jussie's dick.
Right? We're currently riding his dick. Just remember, this ain't that situation. You think I'm stupid enough to kill my reputation? Yes, and you did.
Yeah, you did. It's real OJ vibes. It's the If I Did It.
Buddy.
Remember the If I Did It book? You think that counts as reading a book? You know, if we were reading If I
Oh,
Did It by OJ?
yeah. What was that again?
So OJ came out with this book called, I think it's called If I Did It, and he just described how he did it, but hypothetically.
If I did, it's incredible. If I did it, everyone else is chasing clout. Just remember, just simply to look like a victim, like it's something fun, he says, objectively helps you in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and by the way, when it did happen before it was found out that you're innocent, it was actually fun. You were like the king of the world for a second.
Oh, yeah. It was an unfathomable
Amount of attention. You
and
became
this
the biggest
hate
star.
crime. People were like, "Oh my god,
His movie-
What is this Trump's America?"
And his I bet you his fee for movies tripled overnight.
Oh, his agent's phone was ringing off the hook. He goes,
tripling. So he goes, "Oh, yeah, I want to be a victim." Like there's some, like as if there's some good thing about that.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, there's a good thing about that. Just to simply look like a victim, you better look at someone else. You got the wrong one, pal. He didn't say pal. I added in
yeah,
pal.
pals.
He said you better look at someone else. You got the wrong one. He should have said this in the courtroom. Is what he should have done.
Yeah,
like
when they
the
go, "Would you
guy-
like to issue a statement?" And he goes, "Yes." And then he pulls out his phone. He starts playing the beat. Goes, "1 second, Your Honor." He goes,
I'd like to make a statement.
he goes, "Everybody in the jury, swing your arms in the air." And they're all like,
yeah. Buzz the light.
he goes, "You're not allowed to instruct the jury, Mr. Smollet."
I just like to take a second here. I believe the question was, where were you that night? All right, this guy can't be on the stage. Do you remember the guy that goes, I said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You remember?
Oh, what? No.
Okay, so there's this black dude. It's like a famous clip.
In court? Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Really?
That's an episode. No. I don't
Okay,
think
so he basically was in court, and he did a cappella, I'm sorry for the things that I've done before sentencing.
Nice.
So basically, like, killed a guy or did some shit like that, right? And he's talking to the judges, like, do you have any final last words? And he goes, I would. And he goes, that's the things I've done. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I've changed. And then they go, all right, anyways, 20 years.
Yeah, okay, we were giving you the maximum
It didn't
allowed.
work. Watch what Jussie goes, what? You goes, there was a Jussie Smollet, he's talking in the video, and he goes, spoken word style, transphobia, homophobia. That's what the things in, what you gotta know, then I'm innocent. All of you.
I rest my case, Your Honor. You're not allowed to do that, Mr. Smollet.
I will arrest my
The
case.
best one of those is not a rap thing, but the guy, I think his name was Terrence Ferguson. They made fun of him
Spermicin.
on SNL a lot, but he shot up a subway car
Whoa.
in the 90s, early 90s in New York, and then he defended himself. Something Ferguson. He defended himself, and he literally was like, so he's defending himself. He's insane, right? And he's defending himself. And then so people he shot have to go on the witness stand. And then he goes, can you please point out who shot you? And they're like, you shot me.
Okay.
And like, it was just like this total farce because it was like not going well at all for him.
Oh, they pointed at him.
Yeah, they go, you
Okay.
shot me. And he goes,
Yeah.
are you sure? He goes, yes.
And he goes, God damn it, I didn't think I thought I would have had him there. Wait, what do you think was going to happen?
He was like mental. I don't know. But they let him defend
Defending
himself.
yourself is fucking lit. dude.
Crazy. Crazy.
I'd love to defend myself in court.
Yeah.
I would like to call this pussy to the stand.
Yeah.
So you can't say that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, Jussie Smollett's rapping at the judge. He goes, you think I'm stupid? I'll kill my reputation? What, I'm some idiot that wants to wreck his reputation? Go, exactly what happened.
That's correct.
just to simply look like a victim. You better look at someone else. You got the wrong one. But want to thank y'all. I know I still got y'all. For the people who kept it real, the people who kept it true. So this is 10 people.
Yeah.
So he wants to thank the 10 people that are still on the Smollet train.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people who thinks it's a hoax, you are persona non grata, pal.
Yeah. If Jussie's
You are
not fucking
not
with
welcome in Jussie's house anymore.
you're not welcome in the Jussie family's house. And he goes, they got my own people going through off the wall. That's why LD and Don, I still got love for y'all. So he still has love for...
Who's LD?
So Don is Donald Trump.
Oh, I thought...
And Larry David. So he says
okay.
he still has love for... he means Don Lemon and LD's some sports commentator guy, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Larry Duval? I'm just making up names.
No.
Lenny
Larry
Derrickson.
No, I have no idea.
Lenny Derrickson head. So I think he's talking about Lenny Derrickson head.
LD.
And he's saying that, those guys just haven't read books and they got in their heads. So that's why he goes, he doesn't blame Don Lemon.
Yeah. Don Lemon.
Don Lemon would love to have, but believe me, Don Lemon hung on to the fact that this was true till the absolute
The
bitter
guilty verdict.
Don Lemon did not want this to not be true. No, sirree, Bob.
No. He probably had his own designs on his own fake hoax.
Oh my God, he was fucking walking down that same alley hoping it would happen to him.
And he goes, hey, I just have this delicious Subway sandwich.
Yeah,
I would hate if something bad happened to me.
Something
like some sort of
right
hate crime.
That's exactly what was
I
happening.
would hate that.
Oh, this would be a terrible day for a hate crime. Don Lemon is walking down the streets with a novelty-sized lollipop.
Yeah.
This would be a terrible day for a hate crime.
He's just hoping some fucking people like greasers show up. They're like, oh no.
Oh no, not today. Oh look, I fell over and my pants fell off because we're not gonna have sex with you. Oh. Well then the pants are back on.
Well, just pour the bleach on me, I guess. Let's get this over.
Pour bleach me. So he goes, what we should have done. I still got love for you all. I wish we could talk like real men instead of sharing shade in rooms and up on CNN. Couple real men.
Yeah.
Jussie Smollet and Don Lemon. Just a man's man.
I'd love to see their fucking chat history.
Ooh. That's what he said. He goes, how about you be a real man? And I guess come say to my face that it was a hoax. Yeah, Don Lemon. How about that? Man the F up.
That must feel really bad when Don Lemon turns on you.
Wow, he's saying it on CNN.
Yeah.
I guess the Shade Room guy, that's LD, maybe, by the way. But that's what he's saying. He goes, Don Lemon's out here on CNN talking about, I'm freaking guilty? Come say that to my face that the hate crime didn't happen. Do you think Don Lemon's got the fucking balls?
I wonder what I guess he's, I was wondering what his life is like right now.
The cojones?
He must be on house arrest.
The lemons, so to speak?
The lemons.
Do you think he's got Don's got the lemons to show up to Smollet's house talking about, I ain't fucking getting hate crime. Maybe you ain't getting hate crime. Didn't Don Lemon say he got hate crimed as well at some point?
Sounds plausible.
That sounds plausible.
Sounds like something he would say. But I don't know if he...
Or maybe he did something to someone else. Didn't he punch someone? He had some scandal.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he did. I'm going to say both happened. He punched someone and got punched. LD. Maybe. So he goes, thunder's mad loud, still pushing through the clouds. All I ever wanted to do was make my people proud. Don't you see that, Don Lemon? This is a plea to the lemon.
He's calling Don Lemon a bit of an Uncle Tom, baby.
Don Lemon, if you want to fucking say shit, you know what? How about this? Put on some MAGA shit. Meet me in an alley. Bring a sub. Once and for all. Don Lemon, Jussie.
Subs at dawn.
Subs at dawn. With Don. Yeah, fucking Don. Thunder's mad loud. He's pushing through the clouds, pal. He's sort of run out of stuff to say now. He's just saying random stuff.
Yeah,
like
he goes, this,
thundercloud.
He's like, I feel like this needs one more verse.
He needs another
That's
verse.
where I'll just...
Fame is nothing real. It's how you make them feel. I mean, I guess he made people feel bad. Celebrities for the birds, which I don't think he means girls. He means actual birds, I guess.
Yeah, well, he's saying being a celebrity is like whatever, not cool. Even though it's like literally the motivation for
Take
everything you do in your life.
I ain't no man of steel. Then he thanks God.
Yeah,
He's stuck
that
with
we
it.
know.
Yeah. So he thanks God. So this is what's going on with this guy.
Yeah.
By the way, we have ISAAC. It's ISAAC Butterfield in the studio. Big Australian YouTuber and comedian.
Quite the rabble-rouser.
He's gotten all these troubles. So we got him coming on next, but we're still talking here. We got a few things to go over. We're not quite done.
Couple things to chat about.
We got a couple of things to address here.
Yep.
And then we got our man in the studio. What's it to you? Listen, the shout out that we have to do right now is
Don Lemon.
Is a certain Don Free.
What?
Gilbert Donfree.
Did I just have an aneurysm?
What?
I think I just had a brain aneurysm.
So Gilbert Donfree died.
Shout out.
And this has been quite the year for comedians dying, by the way. Mm-hmm. Gilbert Gottfried was the man. He was
especially comedians who are in photos with Jeff Ross.
Oh, that's what you've been saying, right? Whew. It does feel like it. He was there last night, actually.
Yeah, he was there at the cellar last night. I was not getting a photo with that guy.
Well, but yeah, Saget, Norm Macdonald, Godfrey, like they're going like flies.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a conspiracy, man. Comedians are getting died. These guys all aren't that old.
No, well, yeah, I think Norm was the youngest. They're all in their 60s.
I actually talked to Roseanne recently.
Yeah.
And she was sort of saying, she was like, yeah, I was going to talk to this person. Then I found out they were dead. And then he was like, and then one of my other friends, like we were going to meet up and then they were dead. It's like people are
cherish your loved ones.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
They could take a photo with Jeff Ross.
Yeah, because they could be in a photo with Jeff Ross and then just like montage style, you know, where they disappear from
But there
the
was
photo.
all these photos with all four of them, and it's like it was a literal Final Destination situation.
I know.
So I'll just say, I think Gilbert Gottfried's the man, but interesting because I did a festival with him this year, and I did a couple shows where on the same shows, I actually did one where it was the comedian brings up the next comedian, so I brought him up, right? Mm-hmm. So we were like chatting or whatever. We're in the dressing room, and he basically was very kind of old, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think he's that old. I don't know the exact age.
He was 60 something.
But yeah, do you know what I'm saying? He wasn't 80, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he had a very 80-ish vibe.
Yeah.
So he kind of
I guess he had some sort of thing going on.
He had a thing
I
going on.
think his last show was in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, like a week ago.
So he had a thing going on, and then he had essentially like a handler kind of thing. I don't know if it might have been like his girlfriend, but he had someone that was kind of taking care of him, and he would kind of come in, and it was very, we need to find him a chair because he can't. And then so they tried to find him a chair, and then it was like the chair was too low, so it was like, hey, can we get a higher chair so we could sit the right way? And then basically, here's another thing that happened. That he was kind of like he was gonna have to bring up the comic after him, right? And then he was kind of like, oh, what's their name? And then he's like, I don't know if I can remember the name. So basically I came on after him and then brought up the next person.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to have to remember a name to say, right? So he was very out of it kind of in a way, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes from this, gets on stage, like goes from, where can I sit? Gets on stage. How's everybody?
And just switches. Like,
destroys.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes. He goes from, kind of, is this guy okay?
Yeah.
To destroys. Sharp as attack. 20, 25 minutes. Gets right off stage. Right back to that.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. I guess he's like, he could just pull it all together for that moment. And then it's like kind of Green Mile,
It's a little like that.
Just takes it all out of him. He goes, I'm so tired, boss.
Yeah, and it's also a little like the, like it's music. You know how there's people that kind of lose their, their mind starts to go, but they can still play piano perfectly or something like that.
Yeah. Like he has the muscle memory of like, I could just do my routine.
He just can do it. Yeah. And it was very interesting. He killed. He was sharp. He was, commenting on things that were happening. So maybe with people like that, if it wasn't for comedy, it would have been sooner. You know, maybe that's one of the things that kept him going.
Keeping him going.
As soon as you let your brain go, that's when as soon as you stop, challenging yourself, I think a lot of people really lose it. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So we have this one Reddit.
Anyways, the point is, don't take a photo with Jeff Ross.
I think so.
Yeah.
And we have this Reddit thread that we're going to go through some of it, and then we'll do the rest on the Patreon and bring ISAAC in. But
ISAAC.
So we've been doing a lot of these, we talk a lot about the witches and stuff like that, right? But we found probably the mother lode of all time. And there's one, shamanism.
Yeah.
And it's very, very similar to the Glamorgan thing where they think they have a voice in their head.
Yeah, although they're more reasonable than the women, I must say, when you compare them to because the Tulpas are all women, and so they're just
shaman are guys.
Shaman are all guys, and the Tulpas are all like, this is like they're all just like, this is definitely not mental illness, whereas these guys are like, am I insane?
Yeah, a lot of the shaman were second guessing.
Yeah, they go, am I crazy?
You're right. A lot of the shaman were saying like, this dude in my head won't leave me alone, like. Am I nuts?
Yeah. Whereas like the Tulpas, there was nobody was like, am I crazy?
No.
Everybody's like, no, of course not.
They're saying everyone's crazy, won't believe me. Yeah. Well, this guy, he goes, and we're just going to do a few of them, but he goes, I have an entity inside of me. And a lot of them describe the entity, you know what I mean? They'll go, there's this dude with a red hat that won't leave me alone, you know? He goes, I can't tell if it's one or multiple because it refers to itself as we. But we share the same high, but they all share the same high pitched tone of voice, which is
so your voice.
Hello, Miss Dover. Hello. So yes, there's 3 or 4 people living inside of him with a high pitched voice.
That's annoying.
And he goes, so he's sort of seeing like hello. No, they're all high pitched. Hello, what's up, buddy? How we doing? He goes, is there one? Do I have 3 spirits living inside of me or one?
Well, yeah, it's hard to tell because they all have the same voice.
Hello. Sometimes it claims that I'm a friend and seems that sometimes show me to other entities, which means sometimes his one entity goes, check out my boy. So this is what he's living a life where he thinks he's got 3 or 4 people living inside of me. And then sometimes they bring in other spirits and they go, check out the guy that we're inside. Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Not a bad house we found.
I'm in shack.
Yeah, we're inside this dude. Check him out. Hey, you want to meet some new friends? Hello. And then he goes, shows them to other people, warning them to be careful not to scare me. So he goes, the spirits talk to the other spirits and they go, don't scare him. He's spooked easily.
Good cop, bad cop. It's good spirit, bad spirit.
Yeah, wow.
Goes, look, man, we're on your side, dude. The other spirit's like, just give me a minute alone with him. Yo, I can't control him, okay? You got to play ball. Okay, if you don't play ball, I don't know what he's going to do, okay?
You're right.
Or it's more like, I don't know what he's going to do. You got to play ball.
You got to play ball, man. Go give me 1 minute with him. Yo. And he goes, nah, man, this guy's a bitch. I'm gonna spook him. I don't care what you say, I'm gonna spook him. He comes up, he goes, boo, motherfucker. Boo. Boo, motherfucker. He gould what I tell you about scaring my man? Boo.
Fucking drive an ice pick into my ear if I had to listen to that all day.
That's what's going on inside of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Check this out. I'm about to scare him. No, don't scare him. Yeah, he thinks the one says he's gonna scare him, and the other goes, "Come, he spooks easily.
Yeah, come on.
He's very easily spooked.
So easily spooked.
So yeah, they don't want him to get spooked, and they say this entity has also been incredibly abusive in the past, liking to deceive me, scare me, and fuck with my head, feeding off the attention that I give it. So
bit of a trickster.
This entity's a trickster. And he likes to get a crowd going when he's doing his tricks, sort of, right?
Yeah.
But you're right, he's gaslighting because he's like, we don't want to scare him to the other entities.
Yeah.
But then the main entity has been messing with him right and left.
Maybe they're all just fucking with him.
I don't know what that messing with him means, though. How do you mess with him? He goes like, close his eyes or something like that. He's walking around with his eyes closed, like, stop it.
Yeah, I don't know, because they don't like control you like that.
Right.
It's just voices in your head.
I think mainly it's the scare. Woo. I think they mainly spook him. He's abusive too, he says.
It's a bummer.
You ain't.
It'd be hard to get to sleep.
We've been all talking. You ain't shit. You ain't never been shit. You was spooked out. You a spooky bitch.
Yay.
You scared of everything. You always going around being spooked. Hey guys, check out this bitch. Hello.
Watch how easily this little bitch scares.
Watch it. Boo. Hey, you motherfucker terrified.
I didn't even finish saying boo. I just said boo.
Yeah.
Jumping out of his seat.
Yeah, motherfucker's jumping out of his seat. Guy's jumping out of his seat. I didn't motherfuckers finish saying boo. He goes, it often claims things like we're just trying to help you. So they're gaslighting him for sure.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to help you. Oh, can you do something helpful? And they're like, boo.
Yeah, buddy. We're on your side here. It's not our fault that you're a spooked out bitch.
Yeah.
Where would you be without us?
We like to say boo. I don't know.
Look, I just told the other guy not to spook you. That's the main thing they do to help him. Sometimes it claims we used to be neighbors. So, how do you write this out and think that? Because so he goes, he goes, who are you? He goes, you don't remember me? We were neighbors.
I thought shamanism was all about like eating ayahuasca. And,
Me too.
yeah.
I honestly,
I thought this was all just gonna be guys being like, yeah, I fucking couldn't stop throwing up, but I like went to a different galaxy.
when I was going through all this shaman stuff, I didn't know 90% of being a shaman was, I guess it's connecting with these other spirits,
Yeah.
but they all live inside the guy's head.
How many spirits do you think are inside of us now? Like, are we just not connected with them? Like, based on what these people are saying, like, do we all have a bunch of them inside?
Yeah, you summon them, yeah.
And you summon them, but they're there.
Yeah, so we have a few inside of us right now,
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
but they're just, our spirits are more respectful than this guy's spirits
Yeah,
that
they're
are
just-
starting a party in his head, calling him a bitch.
They just chill.
Yeah, but and this guy is, even in his thing, he's a psychopath because he goes, I can't tell if it's 1 or 4. And then he goes, sometimes the one tells the other. And then like,
Okay, well, now we know that it's 2.
you just said, yeah, you go, you do know how many it is. And he goes, now he says he's your neighbor. So your old neighbor's living inside of you? Newman.
Hello, Newman.
That's what basically it's that. You finally move and then you go, who is this? Hello, Jerry. What? Oh no. I'm insane. You're an arch nemesis neighbors now inside your head.
That would not be fun.
So sometimes I can hear other entities talking to and scolding them. So some of the entities are fairly chill and they get mad at the other entities.
Yeah, so there's some chill entities.
So, and then it's a big, there's a big like uprising within the entities in his head. Some of them are trying to help him, like, buddy, we're trying to get these other entities, and all they're interested in doing is spooking him.
Yeah. I love how there's going to be so many answers to this question, none of which being seek professional help.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, if anything, post more on the Reddit thread. The one time I saw an inhuman apparition when I was switching my meds,
Okay, so there's their factor.
it was a figure with stilts for legs,
Sick.
a long neck, a mask for a face.
How do you know it was a mask for a face?
A mask for a face is funny.
Maybe it had a mask on the face.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it was a mask for. I guess it could have been like you could see there's nothing. It was like just daylight behind the mask,
Okay.
It really was a mask for a face.
Stilts for legs. It's very descriptive. Stilts for legs, long neck, mask for face. It talks to me, and it can make my muscles twitch. So that's one of the parts they just spook him. So they go like that to him. They shock him kind of.
Okay.
It's like a hand buzzer sort of situation. They're goofy, these guys. You know what I mean?
This guy's like
They make him slip on banana peels. They pull the chair out from when he sits down.
Yeah, yeah. Just they do the over under where one of them is fucking behind him, pushes him over the other.
This guy's life is essentially like the criminals in Home Alone. Like he's just walking around, paint cans are hitting him in the head. He's falling down the
Toaster.
stairs. Toaster. His chick's like, "What are you doing in there?" He goes, "What am I doing?
What am I doing? These fucking guys are making my life miserable.
I'm freaking. I got Jamie Kennedy living inside my head." I'm fucking. He just got the Offspring playing original prankster nonstop. Yeah, yes. These guys are pranksters. You know what I mean? He goes to bed. He's stepping on tacks.
Yeah.
They
It's
glue.
too bad you can't get any like motivational kind of dudes in there, Like
That's
they're
what
all
you
just
want.
fucking, you want a bunch of like just Jockos and Tim Ferrisses and stuff.
Well, would you want that if you had a guy with stilts for legs telling you, fucking, dude, you can be anything you want to be, and you go, you have stilts for legs. I can't listen to his.
Yeah.
You don't even have a
You
face.
can't even have legs.
You don't even have legs. You don't have a face. Your neck's ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Sounds like the YouTube long neck guy.
Anyways, can you give me that thing up there I can't reach?
Yeah.
Make yourself useful.
And some other entities have told me just not to respond to it all because it only feeds it. In fact, this is a pretty common occurrence. Sometimes it refers to itself as a we, and other times it acts like an individual. Perhaps there are a lot of entities, but they just sound the same to me. So her hypothesis is his hypothesis is that they all it's most of them. That's what he thinks, that there's a bunch, but they all have the same voice.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's just the thing with these
entities all have the same voice.
Entities just have, it's a rule of entities. Like how, like, vampires can't go outside.
They all sound like this, I guess.
I mean, that would be a perfect world. They would sound like Bob Uecker or something, like a baseball announcer.
Hey, pal!
Something that's supposed to
How does he sound?
Like, the Hank Azaria kind of like, hey, and it's a strikeout.
You definitely don't want your entity having a creepy voice like, what's up, bro? It's me.
Yeah, you don't want a Gollum situation. Not ideal.
What? Yeah, you definitely want your entity having maybe a smooth Stylin's voice like, what's up, bro? It's me.
Yeah, the quiet
entity.
On the quiet storm.
Yeah. How's it going? It's me, entity. It's smooth style.
Yeah, you want smooth style.
Jussie Smollet style.
Yeah.
What you don't want is what these guys are doing. But there's 10 of us.
It's even worse.
And then his last thing he says, it's like a mix between an astral parasite and one that's being clingy and just obsessed with me.
Astral parasite?
Yeah, so he's not sure. It's a mix between a parasite and just like a being that is very obsessed with them. So he's sort of like, they're like trying to spook him, and he's kind of like, get over me, bro. Hey, entity, he's just not that into ya.
It's not going to happen, entity.
Hey, entity, learn to take a hint. He's just not that into ya, bro. So that's the kind of stuff that's going on with these shamans.
Yeah, these shamans. Just fucking eat some psychedelics like the rest of them.
Uh-huh. Do you want to know an interesting stat? 2 different stats that came from, I think it was like a 5,000 person thing, but it doesn't necessarily, I mean, whatever. It might not be the most, like the highest class stat in the world.
Yeah.
So there's one on voting and depression. And voting, so out of all the people in the world, or in America, it said educated and not educated men moved to the right from left and right.
Yeah.
But non-educated men moved farther to the right. And then it said uneducated women moved to the right and educated women moved to the left.
Yeah.
So, and when they mean it, college. So basically, men, period, over the last 4 or 5 years, which it does make a lot of sense, right? That because you go, yeah, the Republican message was, essentially one of kind of masculinity in a lot of ways, and the liberal messaging is very
like war on men.
Yeah, exactly. So their messaging is, so it actually does make sense that men have moved away from messaging that's very feminine, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, the funny part is that you see people post this kind of stuff being like, yeah, see, smart women, like, they interpreted that. Like, this is what happens when you're educated.
Right.
But it's also,
and
you go, and a woman. Isn't it funny to think, like, shouldn't, if you kind of consider yourself the party that helps poor people, shouldn't you not like the fact that you go, poor people, men and women, moved away from our party?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what I never understood with all the politics stuff is like this, especially with Trump, and they go populism. It's this like bad form of where you're trying to just kind of please everyone, and it's the most broad. You go, what's wrong with that? I never understood that. They go, he's trying to appeal to everyone. And I was like, is that what you should do?
Yeah.
I was like, is that what you want from a politician?
Yeah.
They talk about it like it's this like huge negative.
Yeah, it's kind of almost should have a neither positive or negative. It's just a description of what they're doing.
Yeah. Did you see the stat that the thing Elon Musk tweeted? It was distrust in the media based off of your political leanings.
Okay.
And so they had all the things or whatever, all the different media outlets, CNN, but the funniest was the distrust in the Weather Network.
Okay.
And that was one of the things, and it was still like Republicans trusted the Weather Network the most, but still only 70% of them. So there's like 30% of people are like, fucking fake news Weather Network.
I'm in that. fucking 30%.
I just funny. I know because obviously they're wrong sometimes or whatever, but like it's so funny that people class the like.
I know.
The Weather
That is
Network
funny.
with CNN.
Yeah.
You're like, no, they're kind of. It's a different thing. Like,
Yeah, that is funny. But I don't trust the Weather Network as far as I can throw them. I always like book these shoots and stuff based around weather, and I get screwed.
yeah.
They're often wrong. I honestly,
You don't think that's the Lord?
buddy, I think they're winging it. I don't think they even checked. I don't even think the guy looked in. I don't think they even own a telescope.
Yeah. You got nothing. He just fucking licks his finger. Goes like one of
I
these.
actually think
It's gonna rain. I don't know.
he has a. This guy has a shaman situation where he has an entity inside. He goes, "What's going on tomorrow?" He goes, "It's gonna rain."
It's gonna rain.
And that's what I'm thinking. And then LGBT people, it said depression in women has increased.
Yeah.
LGBTQ people, it's increased the most.
Yeah.
So like, well, some 60% of people that are LGBTQ or whatever consider themselves like very depressed, this kind of thing, right?
I would believe that. Yeah.
But it's like, how do you not now go, okay, so you go, what do they have in common? And you go, and then if you look at society, you go, how do you not say that it's the most tolerant it's ever been?
Yeah.
So you go, okay, so it's the most tolerant it's ever been, and they're the most depressed. So it's like, obviously something else is going on here.
Absolutely.
And it's obviously, I mean, I guess anyway, you can argue it's not, but to me, how is it not pretty obvious that like, if you legitimately did a thing where the more victimized the class is encouraged to be, the more unhappy they are.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Also,
interesting?
also kind of, I think, seeking identity, like people who are like very concerned with seeking their identity and having like.
It leads to unhappiness.
Yeah.
it
Like,
seems
cause dude, I know every guy, like every guy we probably know who you're like from back home or whatever. Like, what do you think about your identity? And you're like, I don't.
Yeah. And I think that is that's a better path to having, not a chronic unhappiness.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, without further ado, follow us on the Patreon. Another episode every week, and
we're bringing in people from fucking Australia.
we're bringing in big stars.
Places?
Yeah, if you don't know who he is, he's a big star in Australia. And he's coming here. He's doing shows, but he does big, huge theaters. So super funny comic and troublemaker. So without further ado, ISAAC Butterfield. Woo! That's the start. And we're in.
We are
podcasting, Australian style.
Yeah.
And showed up with their whole Australian crew.
Yeah, man, we got a fucking an entourage.
Yeah, dude, you're the only person that rolls like a rapper that I've met since we've had at the podcast.
I don't fuck
studio.
around, mate. I don't fuck around. Well, manager Josh and Claire. That's it.
I like that you call him manager Josh.
Yeah.
I think it's the move. But yeah, no, Claire or Little Dixon as she goes by, we've been walking around New York.
First time in New York?
First time in New York, first time in America.
Nice.
We've been walking around everywhere. We did 25,000 steps yesterday. We've done 15,000
Good
today
walking
so far.
city.
Love it. But everything's so fucking far away from everything.
Yeah.
On the map, it looks quite close. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll walk up, so-and-so and get there. And it's like a 40-minute walk to get anywhere. So
yeah, but there's so much in between. Like even if it's
Yes.
40 minutes, like you go through. So you go, oh, this is like. Sometimes I'll walk around and I'll be like, oh, this is like I've heard of this thing, and then you just.
Well, we thought, okay, we're gonna grow a pair and we're gonna jump on the subway, and we did that yesterday.
Yeah.
And we
good day.
Good day
you
for
picked
us.
a good
Shot
day.
a bunch of people.
You picked
So-
a good day for your first time on the New York City subway.
Mate, any publicity is good publicity. And I messaged Josh because he was still asleep, and I said, "Oh, we're just going to jump on the subway, give it a go, see how we go." Because everyone's like, "Oh, it's so confusing and all this type of shit." And we were underground, and then he's freaking out, calling me. And then I answer. He's going,
What'd you do?
Where are you guys? I'm fine, mate. We're in Grand Central Station. We saw a couple of terrorism police get on the on the subway, and I was like, "Oh, this must just be America." Terrorism police everywhere. But no, some prick fucking shot a bunch of people.
Yeah, I got up yesterday and I had my mom 10 missed calls from my mom.
What'd you do?
Yeah, Yeah. And she's like, it's so funny because it's New York's so big. Like Brooklyn, I think they say if Brooklyn was its own city, it would be like the 4th largest city in America.
Oh.
Like it's huge just on its own.
And you don't get that until you're here.
Of course. But anyway, she's like, I'm like, I've never even been to Sunset Park. Like, you know how far that is?
Right. So what happened was this guy shot a bunch of people, missed them all, terrible shot.
Yeah, and 0 fatalities.
And I don't know if you watched any of this stuff, but they basically like figured out who it's this guy, and he's got these wild YouTube videos.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I started going through his stuff, and he basically does these like 30-minute rants. Like he's essentially a podcaster.
Yeah,
He's me.
Yeah.
He's an unsuccessful podcaster.
His thing's called Prophet of Truth 88.
Yeah.
So he had like 700
He basically had
videos.
everything that you needed to be a podcaster. The name.
Yeah. He had, so apparently, I don't know if you guys heard this, but he did a smoke bomb.
Yeah, that
he
was
dropped
his-
a smoke bomb
like
and then
the
tried
Riddler.
to, and then
Well, yeah.
tried to shoot people through the
Well,
smoke.
that's what I was saying, because he, in his mind, he probably was like, that's probably like a tactic in the military. You know,
Sure.
they go, they're so smoke and it disorients you. But then I guess he didn't realize, it goes, oh, it's going to be pretty hard to see anybody.
And he's wearing a gas mask.
And, well, he wore
Don't
a
know
gas
if you
ma-
ever wore a gas mask. Tough to see. In.
Oh, big time. And so I guess he was like, I'm just going to
Spray.
spray. And then he just shot everybody in like the leg.
Yeah, I missed. He's got these videos, like all of the wild stuff, right? And it's hard to even pin down what he thinks. He'll be like, the population needs to be reduced. And he goes, black people and white people shouldn't be together. And then he goes, white people, they hate black people. They think that they should be picking cotton. And then he'll say, he'd be like, black people should be picking cotton.
What?
Like he's saying black people should be slaves. And he's like, he has this, he was homeless and he's got this beef with some homeless organization. Highly recommend watching the videos.
I'm surprised they haven't been
We've
taken
all got
down.
a beef with the homeless organisation somewhere.
Yeah.
Fuck. So and this is what I've noticed with New York is there is a lot of mental health issues.
Oh, big time.
Like I've
it's
never
getting
seen
a little worse too.
It is. I've never seen
It's
so
Gotham
many.
City.
It fucking is.
It really
It
is. Like they're like, you have like fucking your Arkham Asylum, and they're just letting them out.
Yeah.
And like they're just
Onto the street.
Like there's a lot of people who are like jokers in training.
There
right
was a
now.
dude on our train yesterday, our subway rather, and he was just yelling and carrying on. And everyone moves up the subway from
But it's
him
like
up the
it's
carriage.
very like normal.
And the police get on. The terrorism police get on, and their big move is to just take him outside of the carriage.
Yeah.
And then he's just on for the next train to come along.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
how they move him along. Like that's all they do. So I don't know. I see all these people. Everyone's talking to themselves. And as I said, we were walking through Harlem this morning wearing George Costanza t-shirts, my partner and I, and people are giving us looks.
Partner.
Little bit. Well, I hate saying fiance.
Yeah.
Fiance is a long word.
Yeah.
Hey, what sounds worse?
it's-
Partner. This is
partner's-
my partner Claire.
Yeah.
Or, I was walking on with my fiance this morning. You sound like an absolute fucking asshole.
Just say Claire.
Claire, yeah, but you don't know.
McClare.
With McClare.
Claire could be anyone.
Yeah.
But
That's
well, my wife in 3 months. So
There you go.
There you go. That's
fuck
that's
yeah.
the shortest word.
Not bad.
Oh, dude. So you must hate all the cyclists, because isn't that one of your big beefs, the cyclist stuff?
I got 3 big beefs.
Okay, vegan, cyclists, what's the third one?
And,
Fat people.
yeah, sure. Fat people. Fat vegan cyclists are
vegan's
my...
like, woo.
What was the third one?
Feminists.
Okay,
That was
fast
like that's
feminists.
what sort of started me off, was making fun of those 3 groups. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you only make videos about those 3." Well, they get views, but I've also done like 700 other videos on YouTube. That's
Yeah.
on my main channel, and there's another 700 on another one. So
What's pissing you off right now?
fucking fat people. Yeah, that's what I'm on at the moment. No, not fat people. Just the whole.
You picked the right country to come to.
Well, the whole body positivity movement is hilarious because
Yeah.
it's only for women. It's
Of
not for men.
course.
It's not for men. And if you sit and you TikTok
yeah,
is
I'm not getting any modeling offers. I'll tell you
right,
that,
but if you're a
right?
fat chick, people will be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so brave. You're so oh my god, like look at you." And if you're a fat dude, people are just like, "You're fucked. You're gross." Get out
Also,
of my
there
way."
is legitimately, if you could be 400-pound girl and you've banged tons of people, you could literally put your address out and go, "Hey, I'm looking for a dick tonight."
Because
And
it's easy.
There's no guy that's 500 pounds who's like, "I'm just a man whore."
Yeah.
It's not fucking.
Did you see Lizzo getting onto a private jet the other day?
Did I?
yeah.
It's thinking of all week to that.
This giant fat woman that looks like if she would stand up
a
in that,
dime.
she's a fucking rock that the dime is inside. There is no way that this woman is attractive to anyone. Well,
Right.
maybe.
Well,
I
she's
don't
a
know.
niche. There's a category.
She's a niche, all right.
Yeah. Like
She's a
there's-
niche.
Yeah. Like there's categories where that's.
I'm aware of the categories. I've seen them. Usually, very skinny white men are also in those categories.
Exactly what I'm saying. There is some sort of
Yeah, that's
overlap.
Napoleon Dynamite, kid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why do giant black ladies like tiny white boys?
I don't think they.
I
Like
think it's
them.
the other way.
way
yeah.
around.
It's the white.
Yeah, and I think that like 500-pound people aren't like insanely picky, and for some reason, trailer trash white dudes, that's their shit.
Well, since TikTok has come around, 500-pound women are now becoming quite picky. and
Right.
my fiance partner, future wife Claire, and I. There you go.
Oh.
We talk about this all the time because she is, believe it or not, a female, and she often talks about how ridiculous it is for people to go out there on a public forum like TikTok or Instagram or whatever and demand that people find them attractive. And I make videos about it, and I think a lot of other people do it as well, like people like Ben Shapiro, he does them as well. But I do it about the fat positivity movement, and I just say, this is silly. It's a bad message. People die from being extremely obese. You shouldn't try to promote it. And people come back and say, you only pick on women, and I go, I know, because it's only women making these videos, because dudes have mates. Dudes have friends that if they put that up, they would be bullied mercilessly until a suicide
All
happens.
the guys who are doing it are they're like, yeah, I'm working out every day, and that's what. Like,
That's
they
it.
do the other way. They're like, yeah, I'm 400 pounds, but I'm working out, and this is my gym thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just attack anything in the news. That's basically my thing.
No, there's that is kind of boils down to a lot of this stuff here's what it's girls telling guys what you should like.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's almost like, because they'll buy it with each other where they can play pretend like, yeah, this is what guys should like, and that's actually good. But guys, there's no way any of dude would be just like, yo, what girls like is a fat slob. He'd be like,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone would
We
be like,
had
"All
a
right."
friend of ours who was saying he was friends with like this girl who was like a model. I guess she was like politically conservative, and she said it's like the ultimate insult to get asked to do Victoria's Secret. Because if you get asked, they think you're like, it's the assumption is like, oh, you're gross.
The ultimate insult.
Like for
Now,
a model, for
ultimate.
someone who's like this big time model, you know.
I think there's other insults.
no, we're not.
Like, you ugly cunt. You ugly cunt. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
there are other insults that are worse than that. But yeah, this is this pretend world, and it's because people aren't out farming or chasing animals to kill and hunt. They just got to come out with problems,
That's
right?
right, that's
They
right.
need issues.
I saw a really good one. So Snap, I don't know if you know, like I know you're always getting in trouble on TikTok, but Snapchat, if you ever check it out, it's like the hub of like wild stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like promoted by Snapchat. Like they pay people to make this stuff. And one of them was this girl, and her like skin was falling off and stuff like that, which is, that sucks, right? She's got some disease where her skin's falling off and stuff. And the premise of the video was, she's like, I'm going on this blind date with this guy, and this is what she has to deal with, that, she doesn't know how he's going to feel about her skin. And it was like, yo, if your skin's falling off, probably mention that before you go on the date.
You're a snake.
Yeah.
You're a fucking snake. Let him know you're a snake. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about?
You're not gonna mention?
You never, dudes don't do this. I would never go on a date and say, I've got a bit of bit of jock itch at the moment, and you must love me because I've got jock itch at the moment. My tinny is picking up. Like, fuck off.
Well, yeah, they're
Fucking women.
There's this guy. Well, how many times they'd be like, oh, I met with this dude and he had a hat on all the photos and then he was bald or whatever, something like that, right?
I'm not bald, by the way.
Yeah, but
I'm balding.
Well, nothing wrong with being bald, but like they'll say it was like you were trying to hide it. It's like, okay, well, imagine they took the hat off and no skin whatsoever.
Yeah,
is
I
that
can
okay?
see your
Or
skull.
scrape your makeup off, you lying fuck. But makeup
Straight
is
skull.
hilarious. You watch those TikTok videos or any video where they start looking like a normal human being or gross.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they pile it on and then they look amazing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine waking up next to that.
Yeah,
Like, you just go,
I've dated a girl that was able to do the transformation.
Yeah,
But dudes,
me too.
this is me every day.
Yeah.
I got psoriasis on my face. I got fucking
Okay.
shit in my beards.
Literal
in my
shit.
beard. Just a bit of shit in my beard. Like, it's fucked.
Okay, gonna take a quick second here to tell you about a new sponsor called Babbel. Learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point in our academic careers. I took French for 9 years, barely learned it.
Yep.
So
I don't know any French.
And I'm planning on going back to Montreal, so I thought it was kind of cool. They take bite-sized lessons that teach you how to speak. So a different language. So I basically chose French again, and I'm brushing up right now. And actually, you do pick it up quite a bit easier than you would think. So if you don't know, thanks to Babbel, learning language app, which has sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an actively fun and easy way to learn a new language. Whether you're traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with family, or you just have some free time, or maybe you got some, spicy Latino chick.
Yeah.
She don't speak English that good, but you want to brush up, so you meet in the middle. So you give her that meat in the middle. All right.
Yeah, you did.
Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a language on the go. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching method has been significantly proven to be effective. And Babbel, you can choose between 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, German. So you could, if you want to go to Italy on a trip, for example, like we will, to get a cheese dream potentially.
They get they get the cheese dream and they go, Mamma Mia!
Yeah, you get
it's
to
a
learn
cheese
language
dream.
like
And then
that.
we're not like a bunch of stupid.
So Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. So there's many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition, to the lessons, you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. So start a new language learning journey with Babbel. Right now, save up to 60% off your subscription. So that's a big, tall subscription discount.
Free.
It's basically free. 60% off the subscription when you go to babbel.com/boyscast. Babbel.com/boyscast with 2 B's for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, a language for life. And I also got to tell you guys again about friends of ours over at ButcherBox.
Oh, the best.
This is a sponsor for men. Oh, not really. It's a sponsor for anyone. And they do not sign up for the
Except for
coffee.
you vegans.
Do not buy if you're a girl.
Except for you
This is the
fucking
perfect,
vegs.
exactly. This was the perfect sponsor for Butterfield because this is not a man who messes with vegans.
No.
So meat prepping can be difficult. ButcherBox makes it easy. ButcherBox's subscription service takes the guesswork out of finding high quality meat. ButcherBox sources their meat from partners with the highest standards of quality. No more searching around the grocery store for 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, wild-caught seafood, and more. Their sourcing decisions are made holistically, keeping the farmer, the planet, the animal, and your family in mind. So for me personally, I have been mostly on chicken. And that's not because I'm a chicken. It's just a lean
legs
meat.
are.
I do have a bit of chicken legs. I'm a slender man. Chicken legs. So for me, some of the meals you could do, I recommend you take the ButcherBox chicken, high quality meat, cut it up, put it in your macaroni and cheese.
Ooh.
And then also what I've been doing is adding white rice with chipotle mayo.
And some chicken. That's actually a good little meal.
Now we're talking. My favorite thing about ButcherBox is the quality. Every month, ButcherBox ships a curated selection of high-quality meats right to your home. Free shipping for the continental U.S. also. No antibiotics or added hormones. Each box contains between 8 to 14 pounds of meat, depending on the box you choose. That's even enough for 24 individual meals. So customize your own box or go with one of theirs. Either way, you'll get exactly what you want. This is your chance to never have to shop for ground beef again. That's right. ButcherBox is giving new members free ground beef for life. Oh no, what's that? Sign up at butcherbox.com/boyscast and get 2 pounds of ground beef free in every order for the life of your membership. Log on to butcherbox.com/boyscast to claim the deal. Didn't you get wasn't the main thing that you got pretty in trouble for recently the Christchurch shooting joke thing?
Well, the joke. I was glad you said the joke.
What happened?
Yeah, well, I've been cancelled thrice.
Okay, you got 3. What were they?
They were a joke about the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't.
What did you say? That
it wasn't
good?
so much a joke. Well, I said that
it wasn't so much a joke.
Bring it back.
Serious.
It was a T-shirt actually. Bring it back. So I was about to go on stage, and we all know that feeling. We're about to go on stage. We're pumped up, ready to go. You're in the zone. You're ready for someone in the front row to say, "I fucking hate you" or whatever, and you get back and forth. And I'm very aggressive with hecklers.
Yeah.
Right. I was in
Destroy them, some might say.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just fuck you. I hope you die. I hope you commit suicide. All that type of shit. Just real. It depends. It depends. If they're nice
Australian
people,
bloke shit.
Yeah. I feel like in Australia, these are all like endearment. Like,
yeah.
it's not like,
That's what you say to your mates.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
say, have a
Right?
great day, mate. Kill yourself, you
yourself.
fucking wanker. So a lady messages me, and I'm at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. My first time at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. I can't remember what the bit was. It was about something about Jewish people. Well, not about Jew. I don't know. It was about something. Anyway, she emailed me from the night before. She said, I loved everything in your show. And meanwhile, I'm doing jokes about the Catholic Church, all that type of shit.
Whatever. You're talking about
everything. And she said, I loved everything, which is hilarious, but the joke you did about Jewish people in the Holocaust. You should never joke about that, right? And I was fired up and I wanted to say something back because I was pissed off. I was like, oh, fuck off, lady. How can you laugh at all these other people's misery, but you can't laugh at your own?
Yeah.
So I said to her, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the oven. Now, that got out. That got out. But this is and I get why it's not cool because it's by email. Imagine, like, just being this lady and getting that back. You're like, you fucking asshole.
No tone.
So I get
How'd you get your email?
Oh, it's just my
public.
it's
Oh,
just
just
my
your public.
my email. And I get a lot of weird emails. Some dude's been threatened to kill me for about 8 years now. It's great.
Really?
Yeah, he's a real nice guy. But apparently he's in Perth, and apparently a lot of people in Perth get, like, people who have like followings get like death threats from this one dude. So
Why?
Oh, so that's his thing.
Don't know.
So he just he hates comics.
So no, not just comics. Like I make these videos about this one lady called Vegan Booty. Do you know Vegan Booty?
Oh, he's like a simp?
To everyone. He chased her down the street saying you ISAAC Butterfield. I don't know what he said. He said something crazy, and she thought he was one of my supporters. And I messaged her. I said, no, this dude's insane. Like, go to the police. This is bad. Because he's like, I know where you live and all this. It's just mad.
It's funny that the two of you are becoming friends over this.
We became friends. It's great. She's actually a really nice person. She's just fucking insane. Like, she belongs on a subway in a cloud of smoke. And no, she's good. And so anyway, I got in trouble for that whole sort of thing. That was my first cancellation, and it was full on. Like,
was she Jewish? The lady?
First time
I think
is the deepest.
it was. It did cut the deepest because I was like, oh my god. But what I realized was it's great. It's so good for your career, and the rest of the shows all sold out.
Of course.
Okay.
Right? Because it was in every paper.
If you're not in the if you have like a TV show gig, it's not good. But yeah, if you're
Well,
like
if you have
just on the
people in
internet, it's
charge
better.
of you. But the Melbourne Comedy Festival, they stood up for me.
Really?
They said, no, we don't agree with the joke, which is hard to agree with the joke.
Yeah.
Like, but you agree with the.
But you
Especially
agree
on
that it is.
paper.
But you agree that it is a joke.
It's not
That's-
real.
that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
really
right?
mean any of that.
Of course,
It's
like
a play
the-
on words. It's a pun. I got cancelled for a pun. And so it did really, really well. It was in the Israel Times.
Ooh.
Like, it went everywhere. So people were mad at me. But that was like 2019 or 2018. Step it up to after the Christchurch massacre. A terrible event, right? Horrible. I think it was 53 Muslim people were killed in there.
On Facebook Live too, right? It was like streamed.
Yeah, no, I shared it, and it was horrible, right? This white supremacist dude who was like the guy you're talking about. Just the things he had a YouTube channel. Things he was saying were mad. This guy was just screws loose everywhere, and he went over there with all these guns. I don't know how he got them because I'm pretty sure guns are illegal in New Zealand as well.
To get there, right?
In Australia, insane. That's why I've been playing with guns in America since we got here. Anyway, so I say. And the bit is, and I said it in my special in front of, we were talking about it before, nearly 2,000 people in front of this special. And I did it all over the world. I did it in 8 different countries. Every time I told this joke, it got it's almost a standing ovation. Not always a standing ovation, but an ovation.
It's one of your hot bits.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even a hot bit. It was just at the start. And because no one had joked about it, even up until this point. So basically, the whole thing is, and why it's funny, I believe, is because you take people down a dark path and they don't expect it. They do not expect it. And the whole thing is the saddest thing about the Christchurch massacre wasn't the 53 innocent Muslim people who died. It was the thousands of others that night in Christchurch who couldn't make it home because all the cabbies were dead. Fucked up, right?
Yeah.
And why it's funny and why people get shocked by it and it ends up in an ovation is because people do not expect it. It's like a horror movie. It's a jump scare, all right? And obviously I don't mean that. So my special comes out a year later. It gets clipped on Twitter.
That's always wild when there was after. Yeah.
Yeah, like 18 months after I first started saying it, and people were like, "Oh, this is too soon." I was like, "Bitch, if you knew how soon I said it, you would have been fucking horrified." And so anyway, it goes out. Every media company reports on it. It's massive. This is right when COVID sort of hit too. So everyone was wearing masks. So I was cool. I was just like, yeah, man, can't see me. And I wear a beard mask that covers my whole beard. So I was just like, you couldn't tell who I was, which was great. But I had, on Instagram, you get DMs, you get message requests.
Yeah.
I had 75,000 in 24 hours. Just all horrible shit. Just like, I fucking hate you.
75K?
Madness. So you can only get 10,000. No, you can only get 1,000 in a go. Like it goes up to 1,000, and then it just doesn't matter how many you have. It just says 1,000.
Yeah.
So I deleted it. I deleted it like 75 times.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my god, this is mad. And people from all over the world, they just hated.
I mean, there's a lot of Muslims in the world. It's like
and I've had personal conversations with most of them.
Decent amount of them.
And so, I made videos and like the whole thing about not apologizing and all that shit. That it's not, I don't really believe this. Obviously, it's a horrible tragedy, but we have to be able to joke about horrible shit. Even, and if someone was in the audience in New Zealand when I said that, who had a family member die, then that's fucked. That's horrible for that person. But a lot of jokes offend a lot of people and upset a lot of people. So we can't, or either everything's okay or nothing's okay. That whole thing. So that was the second time.
One.
And the third time was just recently. I made a
Killed a guy.
And all I said was something about this jumping castle incident in Tasmania. They were in a jumping castle, and
Like for kids?
Yeah, for kids. And at the end of the school year for like 10-year-old kids, and all this wind got underneath it, picked them up, and like 10 kids died. Horrible. And I go to Tasmania, and I've got
Now
this,
what am I going to spank it to?
I got. They didn't live stream it, which was really upsetting. And I got this bit about skipping, and how they sing "Ring a Ring a Rosie," and it's about the Black Death. They should do one about COVID, that type of shit. It's not very good, but I like it. And I say, obviously, I'd have to do that joke about skipping, not about jumping castles here. That's all I said.
Yeah.
And then the Premier, who's the governor of Tasmania, where it happened, was like, "This guy's not funny. This is horrible," and all the Tasmanian people were freaking out. And so and now I'm here.
That one, the Tasmanian one, that feels like it didn't sting as hard.
No, well now
The
I'm
third
just,
one, and you're like,
He's a veteran.
literally, we had it was me trying to ham it up. I was like, come on, cancel me, because it's great for business.
Yeah.
It's great for business. And I'm on tour in Australia at the moment, so I'm like, please cancel me, please.
Yeah, your new special is just you yelling the end.
And what is the attempted cancellation? Just cancel your dates? Like, did they call up the venues and they go,
The only time a cancellation, this is the fourth one that doesn't actually really exist, because I
3.5.
deleted it all.
3.5 cancellations.
I deleted it all because it was dangerous. There's a band called BTS.
Yeah.
The Korean pop band.
Yeah.
And I literally, all I said was literally, I don't like them because they're attacking a friend. Well, not them personally, not like the Korean kids.
Yeah, they showed up.
But their
you're talking
fans,
shit about our
their
music.
stands, they were going hard after one of my mates.
Stands are fucking scary.
Full on stands. So I was like, nah, fuck. I made this video. Like I said, fuck these guys, fuck BTS, not knowing any of their music, just fucking around. And I got on a plane. I posted the video, got on a plane, landed an hour later, and it had like 400,000 views on Twitter. And I'm getting hammered from every angle. Like these people going, he's a racist, he's that, and all this.
Oh, because you don't like them?
Because I didn't like them.
Get out of here.
And I was just like, oh, this is hilarious. And then they started messaging the venues I was playing at.
Oh, yeah.
They were cancelling shows pretending to be my management. They were like,
That's smart,
That's
actually.
so
smart.
That's a
It's
smart.
so
These are
smart.
not your
They're
fucking
evolving.
average. Yeah.
And I was like, this is too full on. I got to delete this shit. And I just backed away.
Yeah.
I was
You deleted it?
Because they're crazy.
Whoa.
I didn't even really do it.
I mean,
was just
that's
fucking
really
around.
nuts because mostly people, they get mad and they go, they call the venue, go, this guy's a bad person, he said this, cancel his shows, and they go, okay, or whatever, but they don't pretend to be making fake letterheads.
They were going after it. And
So the scariest of all the people that were mad at you, like legitimately, like
K-pop fans.
massacres, Jewish people, and K-pop.
13-year-old girls.
they went hard. And it's
I've sort of seen that, like like Count Dankula, that dude.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he got into it with like the Nicki Minaj people.
He did,
and
too.
it really did seem like the whole fucking internet that's a swarm bigger than any.
you don't want to do
Trans
it.
swarms aren't even as big as like.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You
Stay
don't want
away
to do it.
from
It's
the
dangerous.
K-popers.
It's dangerous. K-pop is like, if you want to make some noise, attack BTS.
Gotcha.
But you will regret it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're a great band, by the way. Fucking love them.
Best.
So why? Okay, so vegans and cyclists. Why? Vegans is more obvious, I guess, why you hate them. But what's your beef with vegans? No pun intended.
It's just they're
annoying.
They're annoying, and they always bite back. Always.
What do
You
you
make
mean?
fun of them.
Okay.
They always come back.
Yeah,
and
And that's why it's funny.
that's why it's fun.
Because we talk about this a bit, that vegans were the original annoying people.
Yeah. It's literally just bullying people.
Yeah.
That's what I do for a living. I bully them, they come back, and I bully them again.
Yeah.
And if it works, it takes a little storyline, and then you forget about it. And then it ruins their life for a while. But
And they just don't realize that if they just say nothing, then it just goes away.
yeah, because I'm waiting for
can't-
someone to say something.
Of course.
That's my whole... Because I put out 4 videos a week. I need to have a story. And that's sort of how it works with those guys. I genuinely don't care. Like, that's my whole thing. People are like, why do you... I don't give a fuck. Eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
But, if you're gonna come back at me, then we're gonna have videos, and it's going to be
So
fun.
you're constantly going back and forth with the vegans.
Well, anyone. I've said on videos, like, because I've made too many on vegans. And I've said, listen, I will not make any more unless they absolutely deserve it. And then 2 weeks later, this vegan booty lady's standing in the middle of Louis Vuitton with the tits out, covered in period blood. And I go, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to not make the video? You know?
Those ones are, the tits out is so great. I saw, there is a few of those things like lately. Like there was one I saw recently was basically like Down syndrome drag.
Hot, yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
So they're basically like, there's all these Down syndrome guys doing drag, and you go, this feels like it should be like a scandal. You know, like in Billy Madison, where he comes in and he's got the old people like working.
Yeah.
If you go, hey, there's this person that's in charge of these, they run this thing, and you come to pick up your like son, and he's got him like dressed as a girl running around. That feels like a scandal.
All right, well, you try and fire that bad boy up, Brian. See how that goes.
Yeah. But like, what? There's no way that. I mean, maybe no way, but like, what are the chances that a bunch of Down syndrome guys, like at the same time, are like, yo, we feel like we're actually.
I mean, it was a
women's
scandal
clothing.
on like Blaze TV.
Okay.
I mean, they're not going to form a union to try and fight the decisions,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is, and people love that, and it's like sort of the social justice brownie points. Like this person is a Down syndrome transgender drag person.
Yeah.
Like that person will win the presidency of
Yeah,
America
yeah.
because that is so socially like just. And they're like, yes, this person is perfect. You know, you can't. That person cannot have a scandal. They're so perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I just pick anything. That's how I make videos. I just pick anything that's in the news and I make a video.
And how
about
did
it.
cyclists get in the news? What's the cyclist?
Oh, they're just cunts. Like they ride too slow. That's literally it.
Yeah.
why you get stuck behind them?
Yeah, that's it.
In your car?
And there was. It started with some dude who was heaps like he was aggressive and tried to fight some guy. This is years ago, and that's when it started. And then he went back at me, and he was a vegan cyclist.
Now we're talking.
Oh, so this is how this whole thing can be tracked back to this one dude, and it just spreads from that. But my YouTube channel, I do my podcasts, and I do these videos, and I do other things about all these different types of people in society. I do ghost documentaries. I've done one where we went hunting for Bigfoot, all that type of shit. I do weird shit.
Yeah.
I just throw shit out there, and something sticks. That's what I'm after.
My favorite one that me and Danny were talking about that happened recently. Do you know who this guy Andy No is?
Yes.
So he's this dude that like hates Antifa and right.
Yeah,
He
he's
wrote
he's
book
a
on it.
journalist. He's like
And Mumford and Sons guy. That's when he got kicked out of Mumford and Sons
Yeah,
because he
it's
posted
for
it.
his-
He said that Andy knows book's good, right?
Yeah.
Well, so Andy got attacked by Antifa, right?
Oh, he got like the
But this is
milkshake
better.
or whatever where they they throw a fucking I think they threw a milkshake at him.
He's your
yeah.
Antifa's his vegans for you.
He gets
you know?
he gets just like beat, assaulted. All I mean, he's crazy because he's like the small Asian guy, and then he'll just go to like something knowing that like nobody's gonna protect him. He's about to get pepper
Didn't
sprayed.
he get hit
like,
with a fucking bike lock at one point?
Oh
or
yeah,
something like that.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
can
all the
remember him
time.
getting smacked.
I think he got hit too. I could be wrong because I know he got a milkshake thrown at him, but then I think also there was something where they were like when the milkshaking thing was popular, but then they were taking quick dry cement and then they were throwing them like
that's not good.
You go, oh, it's just a milkshake, but it's actually just like a fucking rock.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, recently there's this guy Thor Benson who's like a writer for these places like Slate and stuff like
Daily
that.
Beast and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah.
And then he just
So
he
funny.
tweets this. He goes, "I just ran into Andy No at a bar in New Orleans. I politely told him he's a garbage person, and then people are commenting like, is he there? And he goes, he just left. I think my comments made him nervous or whatever. And then it turns out Andy No's like, I'm not in New Orleans.
So he's just bullying some poor Asian
Yeah,
dude.
he goes. He's just. I guess they all look alike. This guy, and so this guy, and then he kind of like doubled. Yeah, but it was the best thing ever because he goes, "Yeah, I'm not in the
Completely.
country."
I like the idea of being like, that's the 10th time I've given Andy No a piece of my mind. Every time
So weird. He's in every city I go to.
I just went to the fucking gay rub and tug and fucking Andy No just shows up. I gave him shit.
There was the Korean zombie just fought in Florida. We were down there for the UFC. He was fighting against Alexander Volkanovski. That's sort of one of the reasons we were here.
Oh, you went to that?
Yeah,
That was a good one.
incredible. I don't know if you've been to UFC. It's fucking the greatest.
Yeah.
So good. And there was Korean zombie was there, so all these Korean dudes are there. And this American lady walks up to this group of Koreans, and she's like, "Hey, are you the Korean zombie?" And they're like, "What?" what do you mean, are we the Korean zombie?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you mean? She goes, oh, sorry, you look like the Korean zombie. I was like, and I was there, I was like, did that American lady just ask you if you were the Korean,
Yeah.
if all of you
All of you
collectively,
collectively,
were the
yeah.
Korean zombie? Yeah, so apparently American people are just inherently racist towards Asian people. And Asian people cop it.
Well, they're all and
Dixon says this all the time. She's like, Asian people cop it from everyone. They're like, everyone's just racist towards Asian people. And
You
it's got to
think so?
stop. It's got to stop.
Well, I mean, here it's like it's been really bad, especially with like the subway stuff, because it's like Asian people have been getting pushed in front of trains, like, but it's pretty much exclusively.
Or Andy knows multiply.
Yeah, or Andy knows multiply. Yeah, but like, so you said like you saw the police on the down at the subways, but 6 months ago you would rarely see police, and then so many incidents were happening, and that they're like, so now
why
it's
would they not
become
be there though? That's like the obvious place.
Well,
for
there's
shit
so
to
many
happen.
train stations that
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, they just don't have. And I don't know if you go when you see cops in New York. Okay, go look at them. Some of them you're like, are you like 20? Like I think in New York you just sign up to be a police officer. Like that's what it is. Like you just pass a little thing. It's like a couple. Like it's not an extensive thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes their uniforms don't fit well. You know, like it doesn't look
Or
like
a fat dude.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck are you
or
gonna
whatever.
do?
They just need bodies, and people don't want to do it, especially with all the defund the police stuff.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's tough to get. So I just don't think they have the bodies.
We're going to take a quick second here to tell you about Crowd Health. Now, this is not health insurance. This is a different way, a new way to pay for health care. No doctor networks, no huge premiums or high deductibles, and no surprises. So healthcare is no longer something that takes place between you and your doctor. Whether you know it or not, the government and big insurance companies stand in between you and getting good quality care. The health is being bought and sold to the highest bidders. Now, this is a corrupt system going on right now. Politicians, hospitals,
Gotta
big
drain
pharma. Yes, drain the swamp with Crowd Health, I would say. Health insurance companies making huge profits at the expense of your health. Lobbyists are fighting to make sure they won't have competition and you won't have options. So, Crowd Health, there are no deductibles, networks, complicated exclusions or copays. See any doctor you want, pay the first $500 and submit any bills from there. The Crowd Health community takes care of the rest. So I recommend that you guys check it out. It is putting the community back in community health care. Pay one low monthly total to fund your account. That's less than $200 a month for most people. 100% of your monthly contribution directly funds and reduces the healthcare costs of the community. So, unlike insurance, Crowd Health succeeds by keeping members happy, not by driving up the price. And it totally reverses the vicious incentives that got the healthcare system into the mess in the first place. So check it out. See if it works for you. Stop paying health insurance companies your hard-earned dollars. Go to joincrowdhealth.com now and experience freedom from the health insurance. Right now, you can get your first 6 months for just $99 per month. That's almost 50% off the normal price and a lot less than a high deductible healthcare plan. Just go to crowdhealth.com and use the promo code Boyscast at sign up. Again, that's almost 50% off. Crowdhealth.com, promo code Boyscast. Quick disclaimer, the Crowd Health is not health insurance. It's a totally different way of paying for health care. Term and conditions may apply. I found this pretty funny article that I feel like is up your alley. So
Okay.
There's this thing, I don't know how much you know about the asexual community.
A lot, actually. I appreciate their time and their efforts.
But so they did the big article, the asexual community has a racism problem.
Of course.
So, yeah. But so they go, the ace community has a racism problem.
The ACE community?
Yeah, they like calling themselves the ace
I
community.
mean, not a bad. I mean,
it's one of the better ones.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Fucking get over yourselves.
Ace is amazing because they want to be attached to the LGBT thing, right? But their whole thing is that we just don't have sex with anyone, which is hilarious to like come out of the closet to your parents as essentially like,
I'm not attracted to anyone.
I don't have sex, Dad. I don't
Do
know
you
how to
jerk
tell you
off
this.
if you're ace?
I don't.
No, they don't like anyone, I don't think.
So you're just not.
I think that because I feel like an Australian dad specifically, if you came out and you're like, Dad, I have something to tell you, like I'm not getting any pussy ever, and I'm like, that's the way I want to live my life.
Because you're a fucking weak cunt. Get out there and fucking find some pussy.
Australian dad's gonna love that, right?
Australian dads would beat the shit out of you if you came and said that. Like if my dad heard me say that, he'd be like, "The fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like are you gay?" Are you? No,
And
I
you
don't
go
like
worse.
anyone. Well, I'm almost trans.
Yeah.
But there's also people that are attracted to themselves. What's that called? You surely you would know.
Yeah, there is
self-sexual or something
Surely
like that.
you would know.
Surely.
No, there is one of those things where it's the only way I can come is like, staring at myself in the mirror kind of thing.
I think there's more people who do that than you would think. Like
Yeah.
more people who would jerk off over themselves than you would think. Like some people, we've all had sex near a mirror and you've looked at yourself.
Horrifying.
It's horrifying. It's like, have you ever seen yourself on top, like in the top position and looked in a mirror and you're just like, I look like I'm molesting this poor woman. Like it's horrible.
It's hard to get a good angle on yourself.
Terrifying. So I give it up to the dudes who are shooting like the sort of POV porn. Like they seem to enjoy looking at themselves fucking. Rooting as
No,
a
the
stranger.
POVs, you're not in it.
Your cock's in it.
Yeah,
Oh, your cock's in it. Yeah.
And that's a fair bit. That's a lot of yourself.
That's a good chunk.
That's an important chunk. It may not be a big chunk, but it's an important
Yeah.
chunk.
Well, they said that. So the ACE community is what. Yeah, that's their hip name because they're trying to be like sort of a thing. They go. It's increasingly obvious the more time I've spent time here. It's also something I've been told not to speak up about because it isn't good for our image. So she
Hey. Don't tell anyone we're racist. Whatever you do.
Whose
Welcome.
image is that? Yeah, it's not good for anybody's.
Dad,
image.
I'm asexual, but
Generally.
don't tell anyone we're racist as well.
Yeah, and it is also there's like the idea that the ACE community like comes up like they're the mafia. Like, hey, what's this? I fucking
Do they have meetings? Anyone find anyone attractive yet? Nah. Good. You're still in the club.
Yeah, what-
Good.
It's so there's no you don't do any. Also, how many just like middle-aged women probably like haven't had sex in a couple of years? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some mother that you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I don't need this. I don't need to fuck anyone. I don't need to come anymore.
Yeah. And she doesn't need really the whole community's support behind her.
But if she had a big black cock just jammed in her, she'd be like, I'm back, baby. I'm back. Take me back. And we'll welcome you
I feel
back.
like most of these are just really just depressed. Like,
Ugly people.
I saw a picture. She's not even that ugly. This girl.
Yeah, but
It's
no,
just like
she's
they're
fine.
She's fine. I think she's just like maybe depressed. It goes like they just feel nothing.
Because she's probably on antidepressants.
Probably.
Right? And that dulls your orgasm or makes it really hard for you to orgasm.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, just the idea of like if you go, okay, I haven't had sex for 3 weeks, 3 months or 3 years, and you go, dude, I've got to start a collection of people like me.
yeah.
Essentially virgins.
Yeah, Reddit.
Yeah.
Just anyone on Reddit.
You know, we need to get together and not bone, I guess.
Have you ever read like Reddit sections about yourself?
No.
Man,
I
there
try
are-
not to. Reddit's one site that I feel like because
Do not-
I have
don't go there.
I have a site that whenever I do videos, for example, it tells me like, hey, there's 20 Reddit threads about this or whatever, but I
Okay,
don't look at them.
Don't, because it's just fucking.
No,
man,
it's not
Everything
good.
about me is just heinous. They hate me like on Reddit. They fucking hate
Really?
my guts. It's just like he's the most unfunny piece of shit that's ever existed. And I get where they're coming from because my videos are very different to my stand up. Like I pride myself on my stand up, and people say to me at shows, they're like, "Oh, your stand up's like so much better than your videos." I'm like, "Thank you, but also
Yeah, you're
fuck
like
off."
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just different because in videos, I'm trying to get a point across and speak for 13 minutes. In a show, I'm trying to make you laugh every, 15 to 30 seconds. It's
Yeah.
very, very different. But yeah, Reddit fucking hates me. I think Reddit's just extremely, like, autistically left.
I think they kicked. They
kicked
anytime a
everybody
subway
out.
Reddit isn't that they get rid of it.
Yeah, they just boot everybody.
Yeah, they just boot it. So
What
don't go on
about
Reddit.
but I feel like TikTok, everyone's always getting mad at you too.
Oh,
right?
well, I did
you
this
always
thing.
posted about that.
I did this thing about that female body hair is unattractive.
Yeah.
And I said female body hair is unattractive. And then I went on to talk about why I think it's unattractive.
Gets
But-
in your mouth.
Gets in your mouth, BO, it smells. I'm mainly talking about underarm hair. And I'm not talking about just a bit of growth, I'm talking about full bush.
They have some pretty wild ad campaigns in New York that I saw yesterday. Like big billboard girl with her arms up under. It's like, because there was this one thing where it's a little bit like, it's none of your business if I have underarm hair. It's like, why are your arms up in the air?
Stop looking at it!
And it's like a razor ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're running out of ways to sell razors. Like,
So I had this one.
The arms up for the photo. So crazy.
It went super viral, but when you stitch something on TikTok, It just has the first couple of seconds of what I was saying. So I just in when you stitch it, you don't see what I'm saying in the whole thing. It's just me going, women with underarm hair are disgusting. So it just goes everywhere to the point where Dr. Phil's people reach out. They want me on Dr. Phil.
Really?
So I do everything, the sound check, the whole
and
thing.
some underarm girl's gonna be like, "Catch me outside." That's how you really pop.
Shave me outside, and
Shave me outside.
I do the sound check and everything, and they drop the angle for whatever reason the day before, so I was filthy.
Come on!
Oh, wait, you
gonna
went
do it?
to, like you were. Where did they?
They were going to do it on
or Zoom or
on Zoom,
okay.
which was also.
But you were
bad
going to be a villain
on Dr. Phil, which I was so excited for. I was like, "This is great!" Because in my podcast studio, I got a background like you guys. I got bits, knickknacks that sort of tell a bit of a story. I've got military helmets behind me because I really like. I'm a big fan of World War II. I'm really into it.
Yeah.
But I love
Which side?
I will find out after the show. I'm really into the antiques from that. And on one side I've got an Australian one, I've got an American one in the middle, and I've got a German one with a big Nazi, not a big Nazi symbol, but a Nazi symbol there. And people actually got up me for saying it's a Nazi helmet. They said, no, not all Germans were Nazis. And I was like, I'm not getting involved in this conversation. But it was there right behind me, and the camera was like this, and you could only see the German one. So there was no context. So the producer's like, you probably need to move that. And I was I don't need to go on Dr. Phil with a fucking Nazi symbol behind me. Those fucking articles write themselves.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
you
so
just say you're fucking Ukrainian military or whatever. It's all good again.
Well, I thought you said, did I say that?
No, that's what you say.
Yeah,
no, I'm just pro-Ukraine.
Pro-Ukraine.
You coming out on Dr. Phil and you just have like 5 different shavers and you're like, it's just like a proper villain. Girls should, I think girls should be bald. Oh, girls shouldn't even have hair at all. You're a fucking gross pig.
They're like, hey, do you think that, are you attracted to underage girls? Is that why you think women shouldn't have body hair?
Oh,
it's a hard one to come back from too. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. But yes,
well, but it's just like
should not have hair.
Well, I don't know. Dudes shave their beard. Does that mean you're like prepubescent boys if you like a guy who doesn't have a beard?
Exactly, and that was my argument back. But they don't hear that argument. They're just in the comment section going, "Yeah, you've done it, you've destroyed him."
Yeah, you're
babe.
like, I don't like girls that have underage or that armpit hair, and then you go, you're a pedophile.
Isn't it? It's a great. There's no comeback. There's no comeback.
Well, okay. How about this though? Like girls who groom their eyebrows, right? So any girl that like grooms their eyebrows or like has like a unibrow and they pluck it, when they pluck that hair out, am I a pedophile if I prefer that look as well?
Exactly. And you know who Vosh is?
Yeah.
He called me a groomer because
that's rich.
I groom people to the alt-right.
Oh, he's saying you're groom people the alt-right for like that's how it starts. You're just like you know
the
what?
pipeline.
Yeah,
sort
you
of
go.
thing.
You know what? Under armpit hair, like I don't know. I think girls are hotter when they don't have it. And
It's
then
like, fuck off, man.
That's how you get them in.
Vegans and cyclists and fat chicks, and you're calling me a groomer to the alt-right.
You're talking about like you see it as like I'm talking about like Australian bloke shit.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
that's kinda what I feel like.
I'm being more realistic. I'm not living in the university or college world. I'm living in the real world where things are looked at not under this massive, microscope or in a way where you're analyzing everything in the macro and you're living in this perfect world. I'm living in reality where we're looking at things how, I'm on a subway next to a black guy. I don't think about how many things have gone wrong in his life and how it's got to here. I'm thinking of him as a human being. I'm just like living. Just living in the world.
But you're saying you don't have like some political message.
There is. I do not have an agenda, and this is what freaks people out. Is because I actually spruiked the left wing party in Australia. I spruiked them. I would vote for them.
Okay.
I talk about why I
What
would
does
vote
spruik
for them.
mean?
Spruik means someone. A spruiker is someone outside of a shop. Like, come on, and we got $10 here. This is that, and sit there the other. That's a spruiker. So in Australia, if you're spruiking someone, I spruik for you guys. I love your podcast. It's great stuff. Listen to it.
Oh, you're like promoting
Promoting
it.
it, endorse it. Yeah. So I would actually say in Australia right now, there's an election coming up. You should vote for the Labor Party.
Okay.
Because the Liberal Party, which is the opposite in Australia, it's fucking weird. The right wing party hate free speech. They're going against free speech. So you have to go to the left wing side, right?
Yeah.
And that freaks people out. They're like, oh, but he's right wing because he hates fat chicks, but he's left wing because he's left. He's liberal. He's left wing politics for sort of things like Medicare and Medicaid and all that type of stuff, like free healthcare. But he also hates fat chicks, so he's right pipeline groomer to the right wing.
Yeah.
But I like to confuse people.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's well, that was one thing. It's funny that it's 10 years behind there, almost the other way around, where the right wing's still the anti-free speech party.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird, but they're up to date with everything else.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
they're still on all the other stuff.
Although the left wing leader, Anthony Albanese in Australia, he's just come out and said he doesn't like the woke side of politics. And he's on the left wing.
He's the left wing.
And that's what I don't like about their
kind of
party.
like an Andrew Yang type.
He's trying to get a little more to the center.
He is. He's more of a centrist, and I like that. Because that's the worry with the left-wing party is the fucking insane human beings that have not been medicated that come with it.
Right.
The fucking... Oh, man. There are people in Australia that you would look at... Well, I'm in America, so fuck, you know what I'm talking about. Just the people are like... you don't understand how they come. They haven't lived in the real world. I see down there you've got a Jocko Willink.
That's kind of a joke.
Is it? Have you read his book?
No.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
We just thought it was funny.
I thought it was really interesting. I've been reading it at the moment on the plane just so I fit in.
You getting
right?
jacked?
I just want to punch on with flight attendants. It's
That's
fucking
what it
good.
is. That's what happens. You read the Jocko Willink book and you go out into the subway, you're shaving girls' armpits.
We're
You
dropping
get-
smoke bombs.
Yeah, that's how you get hyped up.
Yeah, it was. It's a good book. It's the one about leadership and teams and stuff like that. It's not so much about the
Yeah,
getting
he's
up
like
at
a
3
Marine,
o'clock.
right?
Yeah, he talks about him
Getting
and
up
this,
at 3 is a bit hectic.
the fuck that. You don't. Anyone who says they get up at 3 is depressed.
What time do you go to sleep at? Like
don't
7?
do it. You don't need to. You got all this. You got all of the day. I do all my writing, my
Yeah.
stand-up writing, videos I write in the day. Stand-up I write at night. I put on Beethoven or Mozart and
Really?
I write with a whiskey. That's how much of a fucking asshole I am.
Yeah, like an artist.
Yeah, and I write like cum jokes.
Yeah.
To Beethoven.
Do you think that's what Mozart wanted?
It is funny when you're writing your like stand-up garbage, but you're like, I need silence. This is very important work I have to do. And you're like, gum.
Cum. How funny's cum? It sort of tastes like coconut. But yeah, it's, I don't know that personally. I've never shot in my mouth. Shot in my beard, though.
But you're happy with the Jocko Willink's book.
I like it. It's good. It's good. Discipline, I think it's called extreme ownership. And it's very true. It's
What's
very
the
true.
message?
The message is you have to take extreme ownership over everything. If you're... For your show, your producer's late. This is wrong. This hasn't turned up. You forgot to hit record. This person should have done that. Fuck that. Don't blame other people. Blame yourself. Because obviously
Right.
you as the leader weren't doing enough.
Yeah.
That's sort of the overall message. And I think it's important. Because if you are always trying to find other people to blame, then you're never going to come across the thing in whatever you're trying to do that will be the ticket to success. Whatever that happens to be to you.
Do you follow a lot of those kind of like how to live your life guys?
Not a lot of them, but I think it's important for a lot of people to hear shit that they didn't hear from their father, or they didn't hear from a person that sort of resembles someone who is someone they look up to. Because a lot of people just sort of glide through life and they never really come across anything that is, or they hit these walls and they get stuck behind them forever.
That was the funny thing with Jordan Peterson's stuff was he was just like, here's these pretty practical things. And everybody's like, yeah, he said that one bad thing, though, so we're just going to live our shitty lives
Or
still.
people go, oh, he told you to clean your room. You're not going to... But it's a metaphor for life. Clean the shit around you.
Yeah.
You know, if you read... Have you read Jordan Peterson's book? It's fucking so convoluted and hard to understand.
Yeah.
I read it.
First one. I didn't read the next one.
It's tough. It's tough to get around it. But once you understand it and you understand where he's coming from, and this is a supremely intelligent person trying to talk to people who are completely retarded like myself.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
it's
he
tough.
made a statement on the the number one political issue. That's what happened. But do you think that? Well, we've been talking about this a bit, but we have some new inside information. But
Ooh.
the Elon Musk thing, I did a poll on Twitter. I said, do you think that Elon Musk has the cojones to buy Twitter? Or this is like a big publicity stunt for him. And I felt like I was leaning towards publicity stunt. Most people, like 70%, thought that Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter right now and turn it into like a free speech haven kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
If he does, it's the biggest baller move of all time.
Oh, yeah.
To take the most controlled area of free speech on the internet and make it
Hostile
yours.
takeover, eh?
Yeah, it's massive. And I think he's one of these people that would just do it. Why not?
I
Trump
want to
changed
believe
him.
that. This is where I'm making fun of myself, other people being like, they idolize these politicians. But then you go, it's easy to be like, fuck, Elon's going to be the fucking sickest dude. He's going to save the world. And you're just like, I feel like he keeps promising stuff and not doing it.
Oh,
so I'm like,
like
am
the
I
so-
getting fucking suckered into this thing,
You may well be. He promised a Cybertruck. Still haven't seen that. I paid my deposit. Haven't got my fucking Cybertruck.
Really?
So it was only $100, but still. He might do it. Or it's a good move for him anyway. because it just builds his personal brand. Which
That's
builds
what
his
I
companies.
feel like is to some degree happening. But we know people who know him, and I've been bugging them all week, being like, "Yo, what's going on with Elon? Is he doing this?" And both separate people basically said, and they were with him like recently. They're like, "No, this is his plan. Like he's not money focused right now. Obviously, the
He lives in a
Tesla
trailer.
is. Well, yeah, they're like obviously the company he wants to make money. I mean that's otherwise you
have to,
essentially you go to jail if you like sabotage a publicly traded
Yep.
company. But then they're like he cares about this and he really believes like this is a problem that he wants to fix. The only reason he might do it is he's not even sure that this is actually going to help. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Which to me I'm like, yeah, I guess that's what he will say if he doesn't do it.
I mean, I think he's gonna go buy the rest of it.
You think so?
He's gonna go buy
well,
the
that's
41% that he needs.
Okay.
And then he'll have.
I
'cause he
think
bought
this-
9.2%. Yeah, so he needs 41% more.
I'll tell you what, this is my last straw with him. I'll go, if he does do this, I'll concede that it's the sickest like guy
But
alive.
the funniest take / worst take with this whole thing was people were like, yeah, he's just doing it for because like the stock went up and he goes, he made $150 million. He's just doing it for the money. And you're like,
No,
that's
that's
nothing.
But he's a businessman as well. Like, of
But it's
course
like
he's
this
doing it for-
is insignificant to him.
Of course. But also he's got
$250 billion.
yeah, absolutely.
so yeah, because people say it's an expensive joke, and you're like, well, actually, the joke made him money.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't someone saying, imagine if he took 51%, and then made Dogecoin as the primary way people were paid on it?
Yeah.
which he could.
could.
I mean, the main thing too is which a lot of the other people are like, because someone was floating, oh, he's gonna like become CEO, and you're like, I'm sure a lot of people are like, I fucking hope not. Like he's doing all this other shit.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
like,
think
how do you
that
have
really-
time for this?
He wouldn't. He would do what he does with all his companies. He would be the face. He would be the the CEO, whatever you want to call it, and he would just have all these people running it for him.
Yeah.
Like,
He's pretty involved in the Tesla stuff.
Apparently,
though.
like he has, like, yeah, he's
But
very involved.
he
with
also
that.
doesn't sleep. He
doesn't
have you
sleep.
watched like the Rogan podcast with him? I love listening to them because the way he thinks, he's like a computer. He
Yeah.
loads every
He's-
information he loads. He thinks so deeply about every question.
Dude, he's
and
the
then
number one
respond.
guy on podcasts when I listen to him where I go, fuck, did this pause? Like, I think, like, the podcast paused. 'Cause
Yeah.
He
like,
sounds like a robot.
But he also takes 10 seconds sometimes to answer a question, like on Lex Friedman. And
I give him a
literally-
double speed
Yeah,
listen.
but I, like, honestly, like, pull out my phone and be like, is this shit paused? Like,
There was a dude at our where we checked in at our hotel the other day, and he welcomed both of so Josh is staying in one room, Claire and I are staying in another room, and he welcomed us individually and read the same script, but we're standing next to each other. He's like, "Welcome to the Hampton Inn. It's great to have you."
He's a
here."
robot.
And it was fully like, and then he said, "And we have great options with our Wi-Fi bundles if you would like to buy one of those."
Wi-Fi bundles.
Welcome to the Hampton Inn. It's fantastic to have you here. And then I went to interrupt you guys. Just 1 second. We have fantastic Wi-Fi bundles. I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? And he winked at both of us.
Yeah.
When I said, what time's checkout? And he goes, 10 a.m. And then
Come on.
And then he winked at another thing like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is this dude doing?
That
This is
simulation
creepy.
stuff.
Yeah. But Claire's thing was, or it might have been Josh's thing, was he must just be on so many meds.
yeah,
that
he's just going through the mode.
Going through the motions.
Yeah, autopilot.
And I think a lot of people have to be to sort of. I couldn't work a normal job ever again. I'd be terrified to do that.
Yeah.
Terrified.
What'd you do before stand up?
I did a lot of things. I worked security. I was in marketing. I did a lot
Oh,
of
you'd be a
different
good
things.
security guy.
Well, I wasn't. I can't fight. I've never been in a fight. So
Really?
I don't know. But I've done jiu-jitsu
You
and
seem
stuff
like a
like that.
tough
seem
guy,
like-
though. You
seem
probably
like
don't have
a-
to fight that
Yeah,
much.
I've had a
I
few
guess.
concussions, so I don't know where I am at the moment. But it's weird when I was talking about this. Who was I talking to this the other day? We're at the UFC. We went there to interview Dana White. That's a nice little name drop. It was really, really cool. He's an amazing
Nice.
dude. Amazing dude. They said, well, we got 10 minutes with him. And we ended up spending 45 minutes with him.
Come on.
Great dude.
Good hang.
Great. Yeah. We're in each other's DMs now, so I'm just jerking off every
Nice.
night.
He set that up?
No, I set that up.
Oh, okay.
Josh doesn't do shit. No, I work with the UFC in Australia, and they set it up. And I was coming over here, and I said, "Can I interview Dana?" And they went, "Yeah, okay." I was like, "All right."
Whoa,
you
yeah.
ask and you shall receive. And we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about the the whole pandemic in Australia and the way that the Australian government handled it, and it's insane.
Were you in one of the states that was like crazy there?
No, I was in. Well, yes, we were all in states that were pretty full on. Like in New South Wales, where I live 2 hours north of Sydney, to give you some context. And every morning at 11 o'clock, the governor, the premier, we call it there. Some people call it premier, but that's
what it is in Canada.
Right.
So
okay.
yeah.
So the governor, premier, they get on every morning at 11 o'clock on the dot. We've had 20,000 new infections. 14 people have died. 13 of them were fucking 95 years old. We had one that was under 30.
Right, so it's never much.
With pre-existing health conditions and all that type of shit.
Yeah.
But we need to be triple vaxxed, all this type of stuff. And then they just stopped those eventually. But every day we were reminded on the news, and everyone was locked down in their homes, so everyone tuned
I was
in.
saying here with Cuomo was doing that here.
Was
Yeah,
he?
he was.
Okay.
He won a fucking Emmy for it.
He won an Emmy for it.
Yeah.
For coming on every day to just do his job.
Didn't he finger someone too?
No, he didn't finger. No, he told some girl to eat a whole sausage. She was eating a full sausage, and he goes, "You got to eat the whole thing."
But you
it was
weren't
sex.
okay. So yeah, that is a big like thing that I have different like conflicting people saying different things, because some people will be like, "Oh, Australia wasn't as crazy as you said it was."
It wasn't. It wasn't as crazy. Like it wasn't like on this show I did yesterday here.
And that's what's kind of happening in China. Same thing right now.
Yeah, but it wasn't like China.
No,
It-
but
it-
like people that. Okay, sorry. You continue with
Well,
that.
people were like, oh, kids were being ripped from their families and stuff. And like things were happening that were similar to that, but it wasn't like the government was turning up and going. We may have had some circumstances. And when new things happen, people lose their minds.
Yeah.
And maybe some things happen like that. But it wasn't like, you've got kids and I come over as a government official and it's like, come here, and take. It's not like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
like that. And some people were saying it was like that. And when you start saying things like that, people start not trusting you, and then it sort of the realm of distrust grows. But it was weird. It was weird. You were told you can't leave your house. It was told, unless it was for one of three things. And you were able, in Melbourne, in Victoria, you could exercise for like 30 minutes a day, and that was it. And if you dare go out there without a mask, you were the worst person in the world.
So you had to run with your mask
Yeah.
on.
Run
Well,
with your
I
mask
remember
on.
seeing there was this video. I'm pretty sure it was from Australia, and this guy's drinking like a coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember? And he has his mask off, and they go, "Oh, why's your mask off?" He goes, "I'm just drinking this coffee." And then the police grab his cup to check that there's actually something.
Yeah, that was
in
in
coffee.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was in Victoria,
Or-
maybe in Sydney.
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy.
There you go. Hey,
But-
sometimes people have fake coffee, so they don't have to wear a mask outside.
And I get that for the start of it. With the
Yeah.
Alpha variant, the first variant, I get that. People were dying, all that type of shit. With Delta, yeah, I get it to a little bit of an extent. But afterwards, you're like, come on. Fuck.
Everyone was over it.
Everyone was over it, and they understood that people weren't dying. And the big thing that they pushed in Australia, and a lot of people lost trust with the government because of this, they were saying, you can't spread it if you get the vax. Now, that was true. That was true for the Alpha variant, I believe, right? But when it came to Delta, it wasn't true anymore, but they kept saying it. And then everyone got the vax, they got double vaxxed, and then they still didn't let people out.
Especially once you get it, you go, "Oh, you can't get it with the vaccine." You're like, "I'm vaccinated.
got
and I
it."
have it." Yeah.
It's like, but they were still saying that then on the TV. They were still saying, you still can't get it. But people are like, what the fuck are you
Like,
talking
I'm not-
about?
What do you think? I'm mental?
And then everyone gets it. I got it because I got the vaccine because I needed to travel for work.
Yeah.
And still I can't travel to Western Australia because
Why?
I don't have the third booster.
you gotta
Oh,
get the
really?
third.
I need the third, even though I had COVID in January.
You have to get the 2 shots and then a third booster.
No,
Travel
two
to
shots
Western
and the
Australia.
third booster. And then in Western Australia, you can only do shows of 150 people.
So they
Okay.
still have restrictions.
They
It's
still
like,
have restrictions.
That's insane.
You got to wear your masks on the airplanes, all that type of stuff. And I
Apparently, they're actually lifting the masks on planes potentially next week, and all the head of every airline basically wrote some big letter to the I guess I don't know whoever's in charge, being like, hey, you need to get rid of this shit. Let it lapse. So it might be over because that's the worst.
because it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like.
I mean, if you want to wear a mask on a plane, wear one.
But
Like, who
also,
cares?
it's okay. Well, it's not ridiculous because if you don't want to get the flu, probably should wear. I think we should wear masks if you're sick. If
Yeah.
you got the flu or something, fucking throw a mask on, mate. Stop infecting everyone. If you got like,
But also, if you have the flu, why are you out?
if you got irritable bowel syndrome and you're running around, throw a mask on. Do something. Like you
Yeah.
should do that. Should be a normal thing. But running around like I wear these beard masks, as I said before, and they don't do anything. They don't do it.
Right.
I'm very aware they don't do anything, but I have to wear it because I can't get on the plane or they're going to kick me off. Or,
I mean, the cloth masks, like, they know they don't do anything.
I wear a mask during sex, a ski mask.
Hey, I wear them on the subway, a gas mask. And there's this guy called Jackson O'Doherty. I don't know if you know who he is, an Australian guy.
No.
Does prank channel sort of thing. He also does OnlyFans, makes a fortune.
Really?
But
what does he do? Bang his chick?
Yeah, and it was full on because I bought it, and I'm friends with him, and I bought it, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm watching someone I know in a friendly way fuck a lady.
How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, it was all right. And he does.
Did he put in a good performance?
Yeah, he really did. He
Like,
really went
you
for
like
it.
imagine you go.
And he's making bank, eh?
Oh, so much cash. So he flies first class everywhere, all this type of stuff. Flew to Canada, and then was like questioned by the police or something in Canada, or by customs, or the
Hey,
immigration.
go over here. You go, what's that move where you sort of put her legs up and you're drilling down from up top? What do you call
How
that?
do you do that?
And he got questioned and fined because he fell asleep and his mask fell off while he was asleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fine.
We have a friend of ours who's like he's against all this shit, and he went to Europe and came back, and then you had to quarantine for 2 weeks or whatever,
yeah.
and then he's just like no,
Yeah.
and they fined him $18,000.
What?
But his whole thing is he goes, yeah, I don't know, I don't have any money anyways, so let's
Right.
just see how this shakes out. And then he thinks he's never even gonna it's just gonna disappear, like because there's no court date, and I think they're just
Fair
like-
enough.
Well, they don't have. I don't think they have any real legal ground to enforce it. Actually,
They threw a lot of court cases out in Australia.
Yeah.
Because they were fining people for not having a mask on outside, all this type of shit, or they were, at one point you couldn't go. I don't know how far it was, like 5 Ks from your house, 5 kilometers, which is like 3 miles or whatever it is, or 2 miles,
We're
2.5
Canadian.
miles. Oh,
yeah.
hello.
Hey.
5 kilometers. From,
Yeah, just
How
a couple
good.
kilometer people.
Couple kilometers. How tall?
I just look at my phone in kilometers.
How tall are you, mate?
6'3".
No, but how tall are you?
Oh,
Oh, we don't do height.
don't do
in,
that.
So I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, we don't do height. In
You do height in
centimeters.
Yeah, I'm 200. I'm 200 meters. I'm
2.03
2.03 meters.
Yeah, we don't do. And I know what I am in. I guess centimeters. 180.
180.
he knows how many he is in centimeters. 3.
But yeah, we don't do. We do feet.
Well, we do dick size in inches.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Well, I would like to. I'm in
I've been
I'm in
fucking
centimeters
petition-
right now.
I've been petitioning for centimeters.
Yeah,
I've been petitioning my whole life. Go, yo, can we do centimeters, please?
One day, if my enlargement works, I hope to do it in inches too.
Yeah, there's something about 0.3 of an inch that just doesn't quite have a ring to it.
Well, I noticed I kept walking on the wrong side of the footpath,
Okay.
on the sidewalk. Like people were like
Would you just call it foot bar?
a footpath. That's what a footpath.
Footpath.
Yeah, that's what we call sidewalk in Australia.
Oh, okay.
A footpath in LA when we landed, and I realised that I was on the wrong side because we walk on the other side of the footpath. I think we do.
No, you can walk on any side you want. I mean, I guess technically you should.
You walk on the left or the right?
I can't even remember anymore.
I mean, on the sidewalk. The sidewalk's just open season here.
No, well, you walk on the same side. You drive on the road.
Which is the right.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I honestly have been here for a week and a half, and I forgot what side.
No, you can walk on the opposite side.
But you run into people because naturally they walk on the same side they drive on.
Yeah.
Because they're used to doing that. But
In New York, well, I don't know about. It depends. Like in New York, it's just people. Do
I was thinking
whatever
that
the fuck, yeah.
there's this lady that
chaos.
I've been having a lot of controversies with the ladies on the running path. Like one, I fell, so I had a fall, and this woman looked at me like, "Hey, what the hell?" Like I did it on purpose. You know what I mean?
why are you falling here?
Yeah. And like
I'm trying to walk.
And
Why are
then
you
I
falling?
also had a thing. Like I always have these women that'll like be running, and then they'll like pass me. And then they were running slower than I was running. Oh. So it's like I don't change my speed, and then I basically pass them again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like I basically was like it's like the internet turned girls into guys with short guy syndrome. Is kind of what it was. That was
They
my theory.
demand respect, and they're not going to get it. It's not happening. It's
But
like,
yeah, right. They all have like a chip on their shoulder.
it's like chicks in the gym who wear barely anything and then get upset when men stare. It's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can see your ass. Like,
Why
Yeah.
are you
mad?
looking at
Why are
me?
you mad? I had a man stare at me this morning in the gym. It's like, I can smell you. I can smell your starfish.
It's like I can see your asshole like
see your
through
asshole.
your fucking.
I can see
tights.
it. I was doing sit-ups, working on this fucking six-pack, right? And this girl came up like maybe 3 feet away from me and started doing squats. And I'm sitting up and I'm there. I'm like, sitting up and I'm there. And there's just ass in my face. I'm like, I have to get up and move. Otherwise, I look like the creep, even though I was here
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
So I got up and moved. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough being asexual and racist.
That's the asexual KKK guy. It's like just super racist, but like you're not gonna fuck. I'm not.
Don't tell anyone.
That's a bummer because they're like, you got to have sex to, make the white race go on.
He just hates it the whole time.
Yeah.
He's got his hood on, closing his eyes.
He does not want to have sex, but he knows that he's got to for the white race.
Fucking bullshit.
The last thing I was gonna say is we sort of put a pin in the whole Will Smith thing, but then there was this video recently that I was just like probably the funniest one I seen where I go legitimately I'm like I think I switched. I'm on Will's side again now.
He's in an abusive relationship. 100%.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah. He's being abused.
When she was filming him, yeah, I saw that too. Sorry,
great, right?
Yeah, and so she comes up, just starts filming about a therapist coming over, or a relationship therapist. And by the way, she lost her hair because she had too much coming in, and it's like chewing gum. You got to shave it.
That's what happens.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Now, you tell the story. It's your
that's the gist of it was there's a couple different videos, but the best one was she comes up to Will and she was like, my therapist was saying this and that he doesn't pay enough attention and he's on his phone too much and this and that or something like that. And then Will Smith is on his phone and he's just like beat down. He was like, listen, like my social media stuff is the one thing that I have.
Yeah, the craziest is people kind of like they were really like isolated, and he was like rubbing his arm and they go, yeah, that's like a tell. Like someone who's
he's genuinely scared, like a puppy. He's like
he's like
trying to get smaller.
He was like rubbing his arm. They go, that's like a tell.
This is the Fresh Prince who's saying this. Yeah, this is I Am Legend, right? Like he was walking down through the streets of, I don't know if it was Manhattan or wherever it was. He was walking down through the streets with a gun and there's lions and there's people trying to kill him and he's got a bald woman.
I know.
A bald woman telling him what to do.
Who brings him on fucking like her Facebook show to talk about cheating on him and stuff.
Could you imagine a bald woman telling you what to do?
When you said that you wanted girls to shave, you didn't mean up top.
No, Jada. That is not what we wanted, love. Like keep a little bit of hair, just a little bit.
And then she's got some other one on her like that it was like going viral because people are finding all the hits where she's talking about how her grandmother taught her how to masturbate when she was 9.
That's not normal?
Okay, well, I mean, I think it's a little old, don't you?
Yeah. Like, come on, Gran. Like, pick up the game. Like, you're supposed to jerk off early.
And then she goes, and my grandma told me the reason that you need to jerk off when you're 9 is because when you pleasure yourself, that is you, not a man giving you that pleasure.
I hate that shit. Like, especially if you use a dildo or something or something penis shaped. Like, you're taking that from a man. Like, why?
You're appropriating.
You're appropriating male penis culture.
Yeah.
You fucking pig.
Yeah.
How dare you? Like, I hate that shit. Have you ever used a fleshlight? They're weird. But
we used to be sponsored. Our old podcast was sponsored.
Really?
I did use a flashlight.
Our boy JJ has like 100 of them.
Do they still? I'd love for fleshlights.
They're not kicking around. The company keeps changing ownership and changing employees. They're all sorts
It's
of
because
weird
you can
stuff.
make your own. Have you seen those how to make your own fleshlight?
Jail flashlights.
Jail.
Just like the towel and
it's like
toilet paper
a
too?
cup and there's a little sponge and you're supposed to warm it up in the microwave for 10 seconds.
Or you just take a little guy that looks like Andy No, and then you
Poor Andy.
sort of a life hack for the making a
Imagine if
flashlight. You wrap him in a blanket.
Wrap the whole. Do you have to get 2 of them though?
Yeah.
Imagine if Antifa weren't like bashing Andy No, they were raping him. And every rally that Andy went to, he was raped by Antifa.
But he's so dedicated to the cause. He still show
goes.
Up.
He still goes.
Still
and
show up
he gives them condoms and everything. Like
Yeah.
he's like, just you can rape me, but please, like,
let's be safe about this.
don't be silly. Wrap your willy. That type of shit. Come on, guys.
That's so funny.
Poor Andy.
Well, yeah, I was loving the Jada video where she goes, can you imagine you're having sex with your chick and she's like, just so you know, like this pleasure was my pleasure.
Oh. You couldn't even grab her hair either. No. Pull my hair.
He's grabbed
I bet she's got a real hairy pussy too.
For sure. Oh, no question.
For sure.
Why should I have to shave my bush?
Yeah, the alopecia didn't make it down there.
No, and a hairy asshole. She would have hair like Will Smith had in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like just a big fucking thang. Like it would be terrifying. I worry for women with hairy pussies because, for many reasons.
Okay,
but
I'm listening.
they basically removed the threat of crabs when they started shaving vaginas in the 90s.
Yeah.
And now crabs are going to come back, man. Like you don't understand that. Being on TikTok, think you're being.
Is that what got rid of them?
Yeah. It was that.
Interesting.
It was that. It was like because there was no one had hairy vaginas anymore. Just your mum, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's
yeah.
mum's got a hairy vag.
Your mom did, yeah.
She did. She had a big fucking thing. But I
Confirmed.
a couple of confirmed kills. Everyone's mum had a hairy pussy, but people who were rooting around, sexual intercourse-ing around, there was no one touching, pubes.
Yeah.
And that's
Nice.
what stopped the
Solved
crabs.
the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if I've
didn't know
never
that.
known anybody who. I remember learning, like when I was in, like sex ed when I was in the 5th grade or whatever about crabs, but you never heard of
Never hear about it anymore.
No.
But you can see crabs.
Now they teach about crabs to junior kindergartners.
Yeah. No, now it's just like, hey, just at some point in the next 5 years, you're gonna get HIV. Whoa.
Wasn't some people getting HIV or they were coming up positive from the vaccine?
From the vaccine in Australia.
Yeah.
it was in Australia. They had
What?
Australia had their own. I guess they were trying to develop the
vaccine, yes,
in
yes.
The, like locally because it wasn't sure that they were going to be able to source them or whatever. And then it kept giving people were like getting tested and it was giving false HIV positives. Like so you'd get a
Well, they
vac-
said it was
yeah,
false.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fill me full of confidence.
But imagine all those people who are like, all right, you got the thing, and then you're just like, yeah, so you have HIV now? Oh,
But you don't have COVID.
but you don't have COVID.
Well
Yeah,
done.
Yeah.
And you can put vaxxed in your Instagram bio. So that's the main thing.
Yeah. You could travel to Western Australia.
Oh shit! We actually
But you
have,
have HIV.
we do have a decent amount of Australian fans. Did you have any dates coming up?
Well, I do. I mean, when's this going out? Straight
th-
away?
this Friday.
So 7th of May, I'm in Sydney. 15th of May, I'm in Newcastle, beautiful part of the world. Just go to my website, ISAACButterfield.com.
Yeah, and then everything. That's your handle for everything.
Yeah, Isaac Butterfield or the Buttsman.
The Buttsman.
the Buttsman.
Yeah.
Marn with an R.
Marn.
Marn.
Is that an
Hell
Australian
yeah.
thing?
No. I don't know why I did that. I think it really...
Because there are so many Australian things that are like specifically.
There are a lot.
Like heaps and.
heaps and shitload. If
No,
you move-
shitloads, they say that everywhere.
Well, fucking old Vino or whoever I was talking to yesterday.
Gino.
I was calling him
Alvino.
Alvino. I was talking to he didn't know what a shitload was. I had to explain that.
What? She don't know
knows
what
what a
she was
shitload
fucking with
is,
you.
yeah.
He was a different character.
He's out there.
He had all of the ADD.
Gino
Oh, what
is
about when I came into New
wild man.
York from JFK the other day? There was a dude smoking a crack pipe like 10 minutes into the drive.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Was that your Uber driver?
Yeah.
he was a fucking asshole.
He goes, you mind if
too.
I light up?
He was an African man speaking French, so
Nice.
that was confusing. What's that? There's like Sierra Leone.
Well, there's a few colonies.
There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few countries
that speak the French. And he was
It
like,
could be Haitian too, actually.
right, okay.
Yeah,
he
a lot
he
of
was
Haitians
so
are.
angry at me for how I put the bags in the back. Like he must be like a Tetris
Really?
champ or something. He was filthy at me.
Tetris champ?
He was he was like, no, it's not how you do it. I don't know why he was Arabic as well. But yeah, he was blowing up at me, just filthy about how I put them in the back. He was mad, and then he just the whole ride.
It's an angry city.
It's angry, and he was I'd never been
Hustle bustle. There's not
I-
this laid back Australian bullshit.
Never been in New York traffic, and the amount of horns and shit, like everyone's beeping the horn. You do that where I'm from, you get stabbed. One horn beep and you get
yeah?
stabbed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like let's fight.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
I mean, people do some real jack off moves in New York though, because there's all these like one way
Yeah.
streets here that you can't get around, and then someone just be like, yeah, I just gotta like run in and grab and they do like a full grocery shop while they're four ways are blinking. And
Yeah.
there's like 80
Double
cars.
parked.
And
He was pulling into like turnoffs. Like there was a line of like 50 cars, and he'd go to the front of the line and just go straight in, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And he's just there going,
Yeah.
"Don't give a fuck, mate.
Yeah.
I do not care. I do not care." But I think that's because the airport runs like a set rate or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like
So you just
$50.
gotta- yeah,
so he's
exactly.
like, "Fuck, I got to get back to get another one." But
Yeah.
but yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me,
Appreciate
gents.
it.
I
It's
appreciate
good
that.
hanging.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Boys Cast. Tampa Bay, San Diego, RyanLongComedy.com, Fellas merch, but more importantly, extra episode every month every week on the Patreon, live stream every month, and also when the Patreon gets to 20,000, me and Danny are taking a private jet to get a cheese dream.
the best cheese.
And we're gonna vote on it, and then we're gonna take
gonna
a private
go-
jet and make like a
We're
proper
gonna go get
documentary on it.
Mario Batali to make us a cheese.
Yeah,
he's
and we're
not
gonna do like a
available.
really good documentary on it when it gets there. Okay, peace.
But we gonna live forever.